Pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs have been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham, because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park, and don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows, but as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
think everybody nuts, we weren't ready. Good morning. It's very nearly 6:05. It's Tuesday, June.
Take me out to his neck for the 7 o'clock news.
Well, it's terribly complicated trying to get earpieces and things untangled. And finding the right socket to put them in, especially when there's something else that is probably vital to the station, which was plugged into the socket, which is now no longer plugged in.
I've just got everything crossed that that camera wasn't on watching the two of us trying to get ready there.
Oh, man. So how are you?
I'm excellent, pal. How about you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks,
You in
mate.
good form?
Yeah, fresh back from Budapest then?
Hey, what a city.
You liked, yeah?
Aye, Jeff, seriously, what a city, mate. I mean, to be fair, it's the second time I've been this year. I was over watching Rangers against Robbie Keane's Ferencvaros.
Yeah.
Great city, mate. Really lovely wee. It's a bit. Was it a crowd a cross between kind of Paris and Prague, I think. Beautiful on the river, some lovely places to sit and eat, cafes, things like that. Plenty to do. Good bit of history as well. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it, mate. One of my favourites.
Mm-hmm. And what about the football match?
Well, I was disappointed. I listened to you boys yesterday. I listened to most of the shows yesterday. Obviously, varying opinions on it. Thought the best team won. It's the first thing I'd say. Could Arsenal have done any more? I don't know. I genuinely don't know, Jeff. I think my own opinion would be that they were so close to winning it. I think the only way they could. Right, I know. I heard you yesterday. Don't worry, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I heard you yesterday, and I know what you're saying. My argument against that would be, I think we saw what would have happened if they'd opened up twice in the final couple of minutes when Barcola got away from Saliba. Right, I think there would have been a multitude of those. I really do, if they'd opened up at all. And to be fair, I think Arsenal got away with it when Barcola got away because he ran away twice.
He is like lightning.
Oh, lightning McQueen. He is absolutely lightning. Because Saliba ain't slow and he went by him. So I think that would have happened on a more regular basis had they opened up. I genuinely do. I thought defensively they were absolutely outstanding.
They really were.
Yeah. I thought the best player on the pitch might have been the man that missed the final penalty, to be brutally honest.
He was brilliant, made so many key blocks.
That's exactly. He did.
But all of the back four, even Mosquera, who I know conceded the penalty.
I'm with you.
In normal time.
I thought
he still had a very good game.
He had a great game.
Yeah.
He had a very, very good game. And I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure he actually even switches off. I just think the speed of Kvaratskhelia for the give and go would have done MD.
Yeah.
And then he's really, really clever, Jeff. He knows exactly. Just puts his body in between the defender and the ball. Penalty.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And by the way, whatever other people infer, and I mean Mikel Arteta about this, it's the clearest penalty.
Oh, it's a penalty. Don't even think about it not being a penalty. 100%.
And my only argument, though, Coisty, was you've seen PSG's defensive vulnerability inside the first 6 minutes because you've scored.
Yeah.
You know, having seen that defensive vulnerability, you should have the faith, in my view, to think that you can take advantage of that again. And on the only occasion when Saka got into a position to cross the ball from wide, he did so, and Trossard almost got on the end of it. Added to that some of the PSG players had an off day. Dembele was hopeless. Absolutely hopeless.
Jeff, I agree with you. I mean, I don't even think Kvaratskhelia played anything like.
He didn't.
He didn't.
Dewey was very anonymous.
Somebody will need to explain to me. Vitinha get the man in the match. Not for me. Absolutely not for me. You're right. I think the two fullbacks who I think when they play are the best in the world. No.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
And so you're right. The way Arsenal played, obviously.
Yes.
But even when Dembele had space, I think, his crossing of the ball, and it was dreadful.
He had a poor game.
It was awful.
He absolutely.
So it was perhaps an opportunity.
Perfect time for him.
For Arsenal to take advantage.
I do.
But
I can understand that. I know, but
we'll never know.
We'll never know. We'll absolutely never know.
Yeah. Look, obviously there's been time for Arsenal and fans and Mikel Arteta to take stock. Arsenal invincible Manu Petit joined White and Jordan yesterday. He thinks some of the Gunners' attacking options are simply not good enough.
You need to have strong and powerful, wingers with technical skills, that can make differences, on the wings. So for me, there is, before, bringing new players, they have to show the exit door to some players too, with all the respect I have for that, because...
Who are we talking about there?
For me, the like of Martinelli, Jesus, Gyökeres, I don't know because he just came into the club. But Trossard would probably keep him, but I would. Madueke, for me, that's not good enough. I'm sorry to say that, but he must do much more than that, to improve. But we need definitely wingers and probably one striker, with space, with technical skills, great movements, something like that. We need to improve the up front.
Here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit harsh on Madueke, who came on as a sub.
Well, I think that's,
created one moment of panic.
I would agree with you. I would say that's the only person that's harsh on.
The one guy who certainly did himself no favours in his substitute appearance, so was Victor Gyökeres.
Absolutely agreed.
Nothing stuck.
No.
And look, maybe it's harsh to judge him on one game, but these are the sort of games he will be judged on.
Of course.
The big games.
I think Gyökeres has had a very, very good season, Jeff. I do, and I think he's improved all the way through the season, and I think his goal return for his opening season is more than acceptable. Now, I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't think he's got the improvement in him to be elite. I'm talking Kane, I'm talking these boys, Lewandowski, that's the centre forwards I'm talking. I don't know if he's got the got it in him to go to that level. He has improved, and I still think no improvement in him. But I think Manny's absolutely spot on. The left-hand side of the attack in the centre-forward position, I think if they strengthened and got real top, they would take a bit of beating,
Yeah. Papers are full of stories this morning about Mateus Fernandes joining them from West Ham for £80 million.
Yep.
My two immediate thoughts are £80 million in West Ham's dreams, because they're in such a financial situation.
Correct.
That they can't bargain up big time.
No.
I'm thinking maybe 50. But my second question, I like him a lot as a player.
Where's he going to play?
Is that a priority for Arsenal?
Not priority.
Fernandes
No,
type
I like him, by the way, Jeff.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's an excellent player, and I think he certainly can. He's one that could play at a real top level, elite level. But if you're asking me where the Gunners, where Arsenal's priorities lie, I think it's exactly where Manny Petit says, left-hand side and central of attack.
Yeah.
Concentrate there. I mean, your midfield's good, Zubimendi comes on for Miles Lewis-Skelly. You've got players that can play.
I thought Lewis-Skelly did pretty well.
So did I. Yeah. Do you know, I think they had a failure, really, in their starting 11. Excuse me. You mentioned Gyökeres when he came on, yeah. I thought he was disappointing. I've got to be honest with you, Jeff. That way I'm watching the penalty shootout and I'm praying he scores. I really want him to score because he looked as though he struggled when he came on, and he did score, thankfully. But I do not think that is a priority position for Arsenal in terms of moving forward to go to the next level. Obviously winning that.
And certainly not at that price. But I think it's a ridiculous price. He's not
not
going to cost.
$80 million,
He's not going to cost that sort of amount of money. And frankly, if he goes there, he wouldn't. Much as I like him, he wouldn't be a guaranteed starter.
No. Well, let's look at it. If he'd gone there in the finals tomorrow, he wouldn't play, would he?
No.
I don't think he'd play.
No, I don't think so either. So
so if you're going to pay 80 to 100 million, surely you're better paying that cash on somebody that's going to start in the Champions League final for you.
Yeah. Completely agree. Got a text saying, why didn't Mosquera get a second yellow for giving away the penalty? Well, you know what? Not every foul is a yellow card.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And the penalty was punishment enough, surely. It certainly was, in my opinion, anyway. 6:14 coming up. We'll turn our attention to the back page and the latest from the world of Spygate. Is that still going on?
That's still going on, that, is it?
Still going on. Is Todd Record still going to be the Southampton manager next season? We'll discuss that next.
I saw Rich. I saw Gabby Bonahor and Jason Cundy in PSG shirts.
Yeah.
Does that really get to you so much?
Really?
Well, to be honest, I'll be honest with you. I love talkSPORT, and I've been on a million times.
Yeah.
It's put me off listening to talkSPORT. I can only listen to this program now because you're the only ones, whether I agree with Simon or not sometimes, he talks sense and it's pragmatic, real analysis. But all the other programs now, especially the Sports Bar and especially your morning program, it's built around trying to anger other people into phoning in, trying to wind us up. And it's become, we don't care who likes us or who doesn't. Because I'll tell you what, you don't hate the way we play, you hate the way we win.
Yeah, but it sounds like you've taken the bait, Rich.
Well, I have taken the bait insofar as talkSPORT, you are the perpetrators between, like I said, Beavis and Butthead that now have turned the Sports Bar into some sort of comedy relief. It's no longer about real pragmatic analysis about the game and about the team.
No, that's what you get. That's what you get here, as you said moments ago.
Yeah, but the Sports Bar used to be really good. Drive, even though Adrian Durham has always hated Arsenal, right? But even goes that we had the Daily Arsenal all those years ago with Adrian Durham.
Listen, let's finish on a positive note. Can you win honours consistently with pragmatism at your heart? Do you need an evolutionary change at Arsenal to go on the way you play?
The process is what Arteta is all about. And so far, the process is working. And like, we were a penalty away from winning.
Believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in.
Well, that must be the worst possible start to a birthday morning for Tony Hadley. And the brilliant Spandau Ballet. He is 66 today. Congratulations to you, Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony.
66, yeah.
I remember they broke on the scene with Duran Duran.
Yeah, they were massive.
Excellent, weren't they?
They were excellent. One of my favourite bands at that particular time. Absolutely.
They're brilliant.
They really were. Okay, it's very nearly 20 minutes past 6. Tuesday, June the 2nd. This, of course, is talkSPORT Breakfast. Time for a quick coffee break and a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
And Angelina Kelly is with us. Morning, Angelina.
Morning, Angelina.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. I feel as though I've not seen you for ages.
I know you've been booked and busy. You've been.
I've been
everywhere,
right. I was
haven't you?
over at the final stuff for that. And
Yeah, I was doing Soccer Aid.
how was it? Went well.
Oh yeah, only spoke to Usain Bolt. You know how it goes.
Brilliant, man.
You know, pretty chill. But no, it was good. It was good fun. Yeah,
Game looked
enjoyed
good?
it. Yes, it was very good. Jason Cundy was getting very frustrated that I don't think he quite understood that it was for charity and it was a nice day out. It was like very critical, very harsh on some of the players.
Was he?
But yeah, no, there's no
Surprises
messing
me that,
about.
actually.
Yeah. Who'd have thought, eh?
It's a good job those players weren't commentating on him when he was playing.
But yeah, looking at the back pages, we've got a couple of different things. We've got AJ. He's on the back pages. AJ ready to rumble. Had a press conference yesterday, of course, ahead of his fight with Christian Prenga next month. And then we'll be preparing to face Tyson Fury. He hit out at Fury, who was, calling him chinny. He hit out with some choice words with Fury. But he also spoke about, coming to terms with the grief of losing his two friends, prioritising helping their parents, which I thought was lovely.
What did he say about that?
He was just saying about how his priority is their parents, making sure that they're okay. Pushing through grief. And I think it's been really nice how honestly he's spoken about it. And he also believes that he's still the ruler of the heavyweight world. I mean, Ali, are we excited to get AJ back in the ring?
Of course. Absolutely delighted that he's back in the ring. And he's obviously kind of hoping to, well, he certainly looks as though he's moved on from that absolutely disastrous scenario that he was involved in. So that's the best part. That's the best news we've got. We're going to get a big fight, hopefully, which... Yeah, is it later?
It's taken a while to get, hasn't
is it later?
Oh, for goodness sake.
Should have had it in 2019.
5 years ago, it would have been interesting, but it's not any longer because for 5 years, or however many years, it's been on the back pages of everywhere, and now we're all bored by it. Yes, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll watch it. But hopefully that's the end of it,
Yeah, just get it over and done with now. I've had enough.
You're not enjoying the build-up anymore.
Yeah. But for AJ to say he's the sort of king of the heavyweight world, it's a joke.
No, I'm with you.
Let's be honest. Of
course it is. Of course it is.
Well, we look forward to it anyway.
No, I don't look forward to it. It sounds like we're going to watch it.
Yeah. And look forward to it being done and dusted eventually. Yes,
we'll have a
line under it.
Exactly.
Yes, 100%. Something that does not have a line under it is Spygate. It's still going on, isn't it?
Could you put a line under it, please? No, just.
No, I wish I could. I mean, you've got the Southampton owner saying that despite the mistake, he's not going to sack him. He thinks that he deserves a second chance. You've then also.
I thought that might be the case. Jeff and I were talking about it, and I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I think that might be the case. I just get the feeling that clearly the wrong thing to do, but I just thought they were trying to let a good bit of water go under the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's come out that he initiated, Tonderek, the practice of spying on opponents, according to new documents. WhatsApp messages have been released. This junior analyst that was sent to observe Oxford United, he sent a message saying, I didn't really have an option. I wasn't provided with an opportunity to say no. I was an intern doing what I was told. You've got these people that are coming into jobs and they want to impress and they want to do the right thing. So I felt
a lot of sympathy.
Yeah.
A lot of sympathy.
I mean, Jeff, how surprised are you that he still has a job or not that much?
Look, initially I was surprised. Initially, as time has gone on, I more and more got the feeling that the club were going to stand by him because he did have an amazing record. And I would say, I was talking to Coisty about this earlier on, what I didn't realise at the time was it isn't about the spying. Nothing to do with that. It's about the timing of the spying. Because had they done it outside of a 72-hour window, then it would have been acceptable. But within the 72-hour window, it's not acceptable. So,
I did not know that.
With the best will in the world, now, I think this is another one to draw a line under, because frankly, Southampton have been severely punished, and that's it.
It's amazing that. So what you're effectively telling us now, I did not know.
It's not a good look for the football club, I would say. By
and this has overshadowed all of those great performances under Eckert, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's actually not a crime, it's just the timing of it becomes a crime.
Yeah.
Because it's about showing a level of respect with 72 hours. I mean, would he get another job in England after this? If for whatever reason Southampton don't keep him?
He probably would, yeah.
I think he'd definitely get a job abroad.
Yeah.
He'd go with a great CV, but I don't think he'd get another job in England.
And it would follow him, right? I mean, can you imagine some of the chants that they'd be coming up with?
Yeah.
I think that one of Southampton's big fears now, look, this is not all about Southampton, obviously, because Middlesbrough and Hull were involved as well. Hull got the EFL out of a hole, didn't they? Let's be brutally honest, by winning that playoff game. One of Southampton's biggest fears now is not having made the Premier League. Is losing some of their best players for next season. And I'm thinking Ross Stewart is blindingly.
He goes in a good World Cup.
Leo Cienza's had a good season. Azaz, there are a few that it may be difficult to persuade to stay.
Yeah, that's it, because it's also not a good look for the club, but as much as the players weren't involved, it's still not a good look for the players as well. And you're right, it could end up being that players will move on. Regarding players moving, England players are moving. They're on the move. They're on their planes. They have arrived in Miami. We've got a nice little picture of Harry Kane in a nice little blue tracksuit. I'm going to guess you wouldn't be bothered about that, but
no, we're already there. Our preparation started.
Yeah, you're not feeling the tracksuit though.
I don't mind the tracksuit actually.
No, minus the England.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, well, they've arrived.
The lettering's not to my taste.
Yeah, just needs to the footballers have arrived in Miami for their first training session on US soil. The forecast in Florida: thundery showers, high humidity, temperatures in the 30s. Arsenal players will fly out a little bit later. I think Dean Henderson as well will fly out a little bit later because of the Conference League with Crystal Palace. It will be absolutely boiling. I mean, luckily, none of those players have got hair like mine, because it would be frizz. It would be a lot to manage. That's my main issue going to the World Cup, how I'm going to manage the frizz. But do you think Tuchel will give the players a little bit of an easier go this week, or do you think he's going to go all in?
He'll be all in, but he'll gauge it. I mean, when we're talking about all in, I wouldn't imagine that the training will be really intense. I think they'll be ready. And a lot of the work, I would think the vast majority of the work will have been done.
In 1990, was it intense as soon as you got there?
Yeah.
Were you eased in? Or
well, the actual tournament, the intensity of the tournament's there, but the training is what it will be. You know what I mean? There will be sessions, of course, that will be more intense than others, but it's all about, particularly in that heat and that, the temperature, you want to conserve as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And that will be gauged by the fitness guys that Thomas Tuchel will have. So the intensity of the tournament will be massive, as it always is. It never changes. But the intensity of the training, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, and maybe with it being such a long tournament, I mean, first game isn't until the 17th of June. Maybe it will be easing them in, rotating the group stage.
You can't emphasise enough the problem the heat will be for the players, particularly, Northern European players, as much as anything.
Yeah, and Adrian Durham as well.
Oh, you do. and your own Barnett, of course.
Yeah, my hair and Adrian.
That'll be a big concern.
Yeah, those are the main issues that we're talking about with this World Cup, 100%.
Angelina, thank you very much indeed. Quick response to whether Tondra Eckert would get another job in this country. Matt in Watford says, Watford would give him a job? For 6 weeks, probably. Yeah. I'm not sure it would be that long, the number of Watford managers over the years.
Incredible.
Don't forget, by the way, talkSPORT has commentary of all 104 games at the World Cup, and that was thanks to our friends at Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
And Steve has texted saying, "Hi fellas, heard you talking about Arsenal and how to improve. If Liverpool get Iraola, they will storm the league next season." Well, coming up, we'll get Ali's thoughts on the news that Ali Slot is no longer the Liverpool manager. Did he deserve more time? We'll discuss that next.
When you guys won it in '98, the double, did you evolve after that?
We knew
Or
that
did you stay the same?
we wanted to play offensive football, you know, because for me, I totally agree with you, Simon. I will probably add something, you know, that for me is very important. You cannot play next season the same way because I think the pressure will be high, you know, in the medias, but as well from the fans, even from the Arsenal fans. Everybody is very happy and very proud of winning the Premier League this season, but we are a little bit frustrated in terms of the way they play. So for me, the most important, except the fans and the press, is the players. Do you think the players are very happy to play the way they did? Even thinking that they were leading the score against Paris Saint-Germain, even thinking that Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world, that there is no shame to defend against this team because they are such good players, you know. But do you think that Arsenal, the players, will be happy to do exactly the same thing next season? You have to enjoy what you're doing on the pitch. This is the best way of winning things.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, something's going to break, you know, into the team.
Would you have enjoyed playing like Arsenal play?
This way?
Yeah.
If I won the Champions League, of course. But they didn't.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning. It's 6:34, Tuesday, June the 2nd.
Do you know something, Jeff?
Wet day now.
It's not good. Do you know something? And it's I know we're a sports programme, but I've got to say, the story of that young boy absolutely horrified me, mate. I mean, I've been thinking about it for days, Jeff. That poor young lad, what was going through his head and everything.
I know.
It's just an absolute
It
horror
is
story.
a horrific story, and it watched
Terrible,
his
man.
family on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, on the court steps in Southampton yesterday. It was incredibly, overwhelmingly moving.
It was, absolutely, mate.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark, who are celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June, and you'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Now, it's all changed at Liverpool this summer with Mo Salah, Andy Robertson, Ibrahim Konate all leaving. Maybe Alisson as well, and Arne Slot, of course, has gone. Andoni Iraola, heavily linked with the job at Anfield. Was sacking Slot the right move? I mean, I mentioned yesterday, Oisty, you know, the decline in the number of points, 20-odd points less than last season, first to fifth. A goal difference had gone from plus 45 to plus 10.
The stats would...
surprised he didn't get the start of next season.
Yes, right. But the statistics, listen, in this day and age, you and I have been around long enough to know, you know, the sack culture, the sacking culture is here and alive and well. Managers do not get time. I probably think I take all those statistics, and there will be a section of Liverpool fans saying, no, it wasn't good enough, we need change, move on, you know, with the fallouts with Salah and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. I understand it totally. So in that respect, it hasn't surprised me. Nothing really surprises you. But I think me personally, I'd probably give them the start of the season just to see how it went.
It struck me that something has happened there, and maybe it was the reaction of the players that has made the Liverpool board change their mind. Because if they'd known that they were going to sack him, then surely they'd have gone for Xabi Alonso before he joined Chelsea.
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unless Areola's been on their radar for a long, long time as well. You don't know these things. But the obvious thing is what you have just said. If they had any intentions of sacking Arne Slot, you would have thought they would have done it almost immediately when Alonso was available, rather than after he'd gone to Chelsea. That kind of thing doesn't make sense unless Alonso wasn't on the radar. That would surprise me, but unless that was the case, he wasn't on the radar, and they had somebody long term that's going to come in at the moment. Areola would be the obvious one to come into everybody's thoughts. But in terms of Slot, there was a lot going wrong there, particularly for him at the end of the season. Well, throughout the season, really. And then I've got to be honest with you, Salah, who I still stand by, has been one of the greatest players to play in the league. I'm not sure he needed to put that wee barbed message out. I think he should probably have been above that and just, you know, everybody could see there was a bit of conflict between the two. I don't think he needed to do it.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big fan of Andoni Iraola. If he gets the job, it's a very different task on his hands.
Oh, massive.
Than the one he's had at Bournemouth. So it'll be fascinating.
But he's probably earned the opportunity, hasn't he?
Yes, but, you know, this is not an original thought. You lose a couple of games at Bournemouth, it's not a disaster. You lose a couple of games at Liverpool, it is a disaster.
Well, we saw that, haven't we?
We'll talk about it a bit later on,
of course,
in the course of the program. But sad news reaching us yesterday regarding England, Newcastle, and, of course, Liverpool legend Kevin Keegan, who announced he has stage 4 cancer, which means the cancer has spread to other parts of the body. Warren Barton joins us now, a man who played 46 times under King Kev during the glory years at Newcastle, where they finished Premier League runners-up. Morning to you, Warren.
Good morning, Warren. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
Thank you.
I tell you what, the thing that struck me immediately about Kevin, and it didn't surprise me at all, is his positivity. He's upbeat. He's got top doctors. And I thought, well, that's just typical Kevin Keegan. But, I mean, you know him a lot better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's devastating news when we found a few months ago, and he was out in Newcastle doing an appearance a couple of days ago, and he told everybody there, that's typical of Kevin. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He wants people to know he loves the North East. He's been a legend of the game as a player, but also as a coach, and he's going to fight this all the way. I owe him so much as a coach to give me the opportunity to go to Newcastle, but not just that. It was the fact that the way he looked after his players, the way he would ask players about how their family was, how the kids was, and you know, a tremendous player. And we all wish him all the best, and we'll all be praying for him to get well, because he's a fighter. That's one thing about Kevin. He won't give up. But it's devastating news to hear it, because he's still a young man as well.
100%, Warren. I mean, brilliant man, brilliant player. I always remember, and you're absolutely right. The one thing that one overriding quality, I mean, he's a fighter, and he'll fight this the way he played, which would be terrific. But he's I've never met MD, Warren, honestly, with as much enthusiasm for life and football. He opened a wee coaching place up in Glasgow, up in Braehead, many years ago. And you used to go along and watch him, Warren, and he was incredible with the kids. He treated the kids' training as if it was the England first team and the international boys, and the time he gave people was remarkable.
Yeah, he had his time for everybody, you know, whether it was one of the security guards or one of the guys that were just helping you, a steward to your seat, or Alan Shearer. You know, everybody was the same. And as I said, we wish him all the best. He's a fighter. You know, he got on so well with people like David Ginola and Les Ferdinand. He treated us totally different to he would do with them two as well. And then obviously Alan come along. But just his style of football, people knock him sometimes about his tactics, but he didn't want to go forward. He didn't want to entertain people. He was a pleaser. You know, he wanted to go football and go forward with his football. And, you know, he used to have me and John Beresford, like Pep Guardiola does now. Go forward, express yourself, you know, make sure we suffocate teams. And mind you, he had a bad sense of clothes, my friend. He wasn't the best dressed. I remember Les Ferdinand, he used to have his little jackets up to his waist there. We used to call him a little Spanish waiter, but he was like, him and Terry McDermott as well was a great couple to be around.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at that team from sort of 95, 96.
Brilliant.
And apart from you boys, Warren and John Beresford, Ginola and Beardsley, Ferdinand, Faustino Asprilla, Philippe Albert, Rob Lee Clark. I mean, oh my goodness. I tell you what, he says he wants to go back to St. James's Park, Warren. Can you imagine the reception he would get?
Oh. Yeah, and it was so fitting as well for Peter Beardsley come and surprised him as well on one of these talkings. Yeah, they love him up there. He's their messiah, and him and Sir Bobby Robson really understood what the club was about, like Eddie does. Eddie understands the football club. He understands what the football club means to the people up there. He understands what it means to put that black and white shirt on it, and he drilled that into us pretty quickly. As I said, with myself, Les, Ginola, and Shagga Hislop all signed, that was the first thing that he said. It's not just about playing for me or for Rob Lee or Peter Beardsley. You're playing for the people in Newcastle, and not just the 50,000 that turn up. So, you know, Ali, you know what it's like, that part of the world, and playing for someone like Glasgow Rangers. It's a great place to be. And he was ultimately the pinnacle of what that period was like, playing the style of football. And so many good times. You know, we had so many laughs with him, and unfortunately we failed and let him down at the end. We were 12 points clear, and that's one thing that's never going to, you know, leave us at the moment, because he deserved it, and so did the people up there. But, you know, great times. You know, just wonderful times to be around him. But he's still here, and he's still going to fight. And
absolutely.
He's not going to give in. He's not going to give in. That's definitely one thing with KK.
For sure, absolutely, for sure. Everybody wishing him all the best, and have a tough journey ahead. What about the World Cup, mate? Have you got has World Cup fever hit you yet?
Oh, it's been hitting me for a few weeks.
I knew that.
You know, I'm ready to go. I'll be seeing you in one or two of these stadiums that we're going. So I've got my itinerary. I'm like Julius Chalmers. I'm flying everywhere. I'm going from Mexico to Vancouver to California. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. A lot of expectation. I've got some tickets for the game for England, Croatia, for the kids to go and watch it. Yeah, you know, one thing Canadians and Mexico do is put a good show on. So looking forward to it, gentlemen. It should be a good one.
Make sure you bring that credit card. I'll see you over there.
Enjoy it, Warren.
I will do, gentlemen. I wish you all the best. Lovely
You
to hear
too,
both
pal.
of you.
Cheers, mate.
Warren Barton, who played under Kevin Keegan during those brilliant years at Newcastle, and Spurs fan Steve. He speaks for all football fans, I think. He said, Kevin Keegan, he said, he's still the best cyclist on Superstars. He said, I would love it when he beats cancer. All the best, Kev. So well said, Steve. I think everybody would.
Great wee story. Do you know I've got his jersey?
Have you?
Yes, it's a great wee story. He guested in John Robertson of Hearts. No, it might be Alec McDonald's. He guested in a testimonial game for Hearts that we played in. And I've got his number. I swapped jerseys with him after the game. I've got his Hearts jersey. Kevin Keegan's Hearts jersey. There you are.
Kev's done he does a lot on the after dinner circuit and things like that. And you know what? It doesn't matter how long the queue for photos and autographs is afterwards. It can be, half an hour long, an hour long, 2 hours long. Kevin Keegan will stand and wait, and he will sign every single person's book or photo or piece of memorabilia. He thinks they paid for the tickets, they paid to see him. Yeah. He is going to provide them with what they want. He's top
man.
Top man, yeah. Still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
We'll be joined in the studio by this man.
Delivering across. Antonio! 2-2! Rising highest in between the two centre-backs, combining with Bowen again.
Yeah, we'll be talking to the former West Ham United star, Michail Antonio, for half an hour this morning. That comes up at around 9:30. He'll join Ali and I right here in the studio. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Perry Groves joins us now. Perry.
Good evening, Perry.
Evening, commiserations.
Good evening. Don't want your commiserations.
I've seen you in the...
Stick your commiserations where the sun don't shine.
No, listen.
I don't want your hollow whatever.
No.
Stick it.
No. It's commiserations.
No, it's not.
No, I think there is commiserations. I think it's fair.
No, because you're pleased.
No, I am delighted.
Do you know what? It's a weird thing, right? I don't get people taking great pleasure from other people's misfortunes.
What do you mean?
Right? When I was brought up, right, to want to be successful myself, right, and reach my goals, but if someone else is successful, be pleased from. The only caveat that is that mob up the road with Spurs, because if they'd have won it in 2019, I'd have emigrated, I'd have gone to Sydney with my boy. Right. But other than that, you'd rather a French team beat an English team.
100%.
Yeah. Don't get it.
100%.
Do you know what? It just shows you how shallow you both are.
No, not shallow, being honest.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Because I want Chelsea in it against a foreign team because I want an English team to do well.
Why? Well, I don't get that argument. I don't get it. I never will get it. The hate has got to go deep in the heart.
No, that's why. That's the thing. I don't hate. That's the difference.
I do.
Apart from that, how energy sapping is that? How much are in people's heads?
No, it's so
everyone's
good.
different
though, Perry. I get what you're saying, but there's people that are like me and Cundy that don't want another English team to do well.
Yeah, but again...
Different opinions, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I didn't want Villa to win the Europa League because I put them in the Champions League. I didn't want that. I know they got them in the league anyway.
Shallow.
No, but it's...
Good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, 10 minutes away from 7 o'clock. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist has done the headlines this morning. The Southampton owner says he won't sack Tonda Eckert despite the mistake the head coach made when authorising a spying campaign against rival championship clubs. Serena Williams is set to return to professional tennis at the age of 44 after almost 4 years away from the sport. She'll play doubles at Queen's, and Anthony Joshua faced the media ahead of his showdown, use that word loosely, with the Albanian heavyweight Christian Prenga in Jeddah. Victory would clear the path for fight against Tyson Fury later this year. AJ told talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver he's ready to get back to his very best.
So you can fight Tyson Fury, he's going to say, bring it. Absolutely. They told me, if you beat Prenga, we'll give you Tyson Fury. I said, please, give me that contract. And it's no problem to me, no pressure. I just know what is required of me, and I stepped up to the plate.
The game's all about opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Tyson Fury's, and I think they're going to announce it this week, speaking to Frank Warren earlier this morning. He says now he's going to be out again in August.
Is he fighting a Toma?
I'm not sure who he's fighting yet. Frank wouldn't give me any indication.
Because he was saying to me, when I was looking for an opponent for this day, he was like, you know, fight, I think he was saying fight Wardley, fight a Toma. These fights are easy to be made. If you're looking for a comeback fight. So I think that would be a perfect name because they're all under the same promotion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So Fury is what he says he is. Maybe he should step forward and Frank should put his fighter forward instead of worrying about what I'm up to.
Now, Angelina Kelly is back with us. Hi again, Angelina.
Hello. So switching gears from the boxing chat there, we're going to talk Marcus Rashford.
Right.
Marcus moving a mess. There has been a breakdown in communications between Manchester United and Barcelona. His future might not be resolved until after the World Cup. Don't know if that means he's got to go to Carrington for pre-season, or hopefully they figure it out. But Barcelona had agreed to make this season's loan deal permanent, about 24 million. But they now want to renegotiate. They're looking for about 13 million. Obviously, the player's been on loan with Barcelona. Overall, done a decent job. I mean, he's going to the World Cup. I think that Manchester United fans are happy for him. I don't think anybody sees a return on the cards. But if I was Marcus Rashford, I'd be absolutely fuming. They've spent 70 million on Anthony Gordon. They want Julian Alvarez, who'll be over 100 million. You can't now be pleading poverty to Man United, saying, oh, we could only take him for 13 million. I mean, are Barcelona taking the mick out of him and Manchester United?
They're trying to exploit a situation, aren't they? That's all they're doing that anybody would do in any business.
If they liked him so much, you know, why have they prioritised Anthony Gordon? I mean, if you're Marcus Rashford, are you worried that they don't really want you?
They'll think that they can get Marcus Rashford no matter what happens. So that's why they've probably prioritised Anthony Gordon. They'll know that there's a deal on the table. I thought it was 27, 24, whatever it is. They know that deal's on the table. They know that's there. They know he's done well. They know he probably wants to stay there. They know he doesn't want to go back to United. They know United don't want him back. So everything would indicate that they'll try and get the price down.
Yeah,
that's. I think
you offer the minimal amount you possibly can.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're Rashford, where else could you go?
Well, loads of places. There are loads of teams in England that would take him, but that would mean coming back to the Premier League. And I'm not sure he wants to do that. But you know, I'm looking at. There's an argument that Arsenal.
That's exactly what I
might take him, especially at that sort of price.
Yeah.
If that's what we're talking, or Villa and
Unai Emery liked him. Yeah,
and other financial problems at Villa, but they'll have to find some money to spend. Ditto Newcastle. I think you would have a myriad of options, especially after the way he's done at Barcelona.
And if he has a great World Cup as well.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. If I was Marcus Rashford, would I be disappointed? Maybe. I'd want my future.
You don't want to live in Barcelona.
I'll tell you what. Not a disaster.
Yeah.
Go out there, have a fantastic World Cup, and then
world's his oyster.
Bob's your uncle.
I mean, immediately, response, Kieran, Arsenal should go and get Rashford.
Yeah.
Would be a great start for changing their style. A great attacking winger that won't play as a wing back. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see him there, couldn't you? And whilst he might want to stay in Barcelona, the lure of going and playing for the champions and also putting two fingers up with the best one in the world, the Manchester United,
Jeff, it
might
sense.
Well appeal.
That move makes sense on so many counts.
And I think we've also seen, if I was Marcus Rashford, I'm sure you'd have reservations about returning to the Premier League, the media attention, whatever happened off the pitch happened, but the amount of stick that he got sometimes.
You're dead right. The media attention.
It was too much. But I do look at somebody like Mikel Arteta, and I think as a manager, the way that he comes across, I think he would put an arm around the shoulder. I think that he would be wanting to protect. I think Arsenal as a football club, would definitely be there to protect him, to look after him. Maybe that would give him a little bit of peace of mind. I'm not too sure, but I agree. I think Arsenal's a good shout. I think Aston Villa, like you say, Unai Emery liked him. There's PSR. His wages are high, maybe, but I mean, it's a no-brainer. If Barcelona don't want him, he's got options.
I'm not sure they don't want him, Angelina. I just think they're playing the game a little bit. I would suggest.
John has said, we'll take Rashford on our European tour for Sunderland, thank you. John, I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. But no, I do get his concern about coming back to the Premier League, because Marcus Rashford, if he breathed out followed by in, it was headline news.
Listen, it wouldn't be an ideal situation for Marcus Rashford, but it would be an option. I still think they'll get something sorted with Barcelona. You'd think so.
Aiden's just said here, I'd take Rashford at Liverpool. Ex-Man United, a great replacement for Gakpo. I'm not sure that would happen, but
Manchester lad born. As much as things ended on a sour note with Manchester United, I think being a local lad, I think that would be tough, wouldn't it? But it's been done.
Michael Owen can do it the other way.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was great.
It'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it? I mean, somebody's put in a question here. It's anonymous, and I don't normally read the anonymous ones. Do Arsenal really want to play with a terrible attitude, disrupting their team? Well, he hasn't had a terrible attitude at Barcelona, has he?
I think moving away from Manchester, did him the world of good. And I think you can look back on what happened in Manchester, and you hear about things. We don't know what was happening behind closed doors at the end of the day, do we? And like you say, with Barcelona, doesn't seem to be any issues. Hansi Flick has spoken really highly of him. So, people do deserve a second chance.
Yeah. I mean, Jason asked an interesting question here just briefly. He says, do you think the situation with Rashford and Gordon will have an effect in the England camp? As Rashford has clearly said he wants to stay at Barcelona. If he doesn't get the move, I'm sure he'll be feeling kind of bad.
Won't
but
be sitting with him at breakfast.
That's a non-starter for me.
Yeah.
It's not Anthony Gordon's problem.
No.
It's Barcelona, but I still think that, I'll say it again, I still think they'll get a deal sorted. I just think they're playing the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Angelina, thanks very much
Thanks,
indeed.
Angelina.
Coming up, we'll bring you more on the news that Tondra Eckert is set to stay as Southampton manager despite the Spygate drama. Southampton fans, you happy with that? 03717 22 3344 is the number to call. We'll discuss that next.
In the penalty shootout, Emmanuel, it struck me to ask you, were you surprised that Gabriel
a little bit
stepped up?
Yeah, I was surprised because I saw, for example, one player. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to point finger at them. But when I see Zubimendi, he's a European champion. He's got character and personality, and the guy just came into the game. He's fresh, mentally and physically. You know what it means to take a penalty at the end of the season like that. It's so hot, So many players were having cramp, during the game. So it was an exhausting season for both teams. And all of a sudden, this guy came into at the end of the game. He's fresh. He didn't take. You see the central defender. This is not typical for central defender to take a penalty shot. You know.
Yeah. The other penalty you were not happy with was Eze's penalty. I know we don't want to hammer the guy, but
football is already difficult, so make it simple. I don't understand why all those guys, you know, is it fashionable? I have no idea. But, you know, I'm very annoyed every time I see someone trying to make a stick, you know, before kicking the ball. You know, he stopped the run and then all of a sudden do something. Why don't you do a push-up before you take your change? I mean, yeah.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event and get 2 years free servicing plus a chance to win the cost of it back this June. It is Tuesday, June the 2nd, a very wet Tuesday, June the 2nd if we're in London today. Not sure what it's like where you are.
It's not a great morning, is it?
It's not a great
And I should probably take this opportunity in wishing 3 of my boys a happy birthday.
3 of them?
Yep.
How did you manage that?
Well, that's a long story. The twins.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, right, okay, that makes sense.
Argyle and Mitchell.
Okay, they got the same birthday. I
Happy
get
birthday.
that, yeah.
And Wee Harris, happy birthday this morning. 3 of them.
Wow.
June the 2nd.
Keeps things simple, doesn't it, in some respects?
It does. For a man that's not great with dates, it certainly helps me. And I'm so pleased I've got that out of the road.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I did before I went to my bed last night was wrote in my notepad, remember and wish them a happy birthday.
Brilliant. Happy birthday, lads. Brilliant. Look, on the way through this morning, West Ham's all-time Premier League top scorer, Mikel Antonio, will be with us live in the studio. He'll look back on his Hammers career and discuss his upcoming new book. It's a really interesting new book. It's not your typical football autobiography at all. Former Premier League ref Chris Foy will join us to discuss FIFA's latest rule changes ahead of the World Cup. But now, another development in the Spygate drama rocking Southampton. It's been revealed that head coach Tonda Eckhart put pressure on staff to spy on their championship rivals. However, Eckhart is set to stay as Saints boss.
We've had a statement from the EFL confirming that Southampton have been expelled from Saturday's Championship playoff final.
That Southampton manager, get him gone.
100%.
And the boys, any staff members that were all up there in on it, they got to go.
talkSPORT understands Southampton's appeal against the sanctions imposed yesterday has failed.
The fact that the players and the fans are getting tarnished and punished like this, it's I can't believe it.
If he has sanctioned that and Tonda Eckhart has allowed that to happen under his watch knowingly, then he's a disgrace and he needs to go. It undoes all his hard work and it's not who we are as a football club.
Well, leaked WhatsApp messages suggest that junior staff were placed under extreme pressure by head coach Tonda Eckhart at the club. However, Southampton owner Dragan Solak says he won't be sacking the manager. Let's head to the phone lines and get the thoughts of a Southampton fan. Good morning, Toby. Morning, Toby.
Morning, Toby.
How you doing, boys? You all right?
We're well, mate. We're well, mate. What are you thinking about the whole situation, Toby?
Right, so I called in the sports bar with Majestic the night it got confirmed we were kicked out of the playoffs, and I was devastated and let down because I follow the club home and away. I've done 6,000 miles I worked out I've driven. But after a lot of thought and looking around, there isn't really many managers on the market in the Championship, and there's no way he's got us from near the bottom of the league to near the top in, 8 months just from spying. He's got to be a good manager nonetheless. And I think we should keep him. And even though he has let the club down, like someone said earlier, I was listening all morning, second chances, you got to give him when they're due.
Toby, I get the look, he's got a brilliant record. Can't deny that. But when you say you've looked around at other managers, shouldn't it be more about morals and the apparent lack of scruples rather than his success on the field?
No, I get that, and that's what I was thinking when I first found out, is that how could he do that? And if he knew, he should go. But I don't really see much else going for us, to be honest. I think our players believe in him, no matter what's happened. They've come out, and I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of the players have come out and said they're going to back the manager. And I just think he's a great manager nonetheless, and I just don't see how he's got us this high in the league from where we were. Real still, it was atrocious. I mean, the home atmosphere was dreadful when we lost to Preston at home 2-0. That was shocking. And to get us up to where we are now, winning 5-1 away at Wrexham, I was there on Tuesday night. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't keep him. And the owner's just come out and said, I've just read the article, it literally just came out this morning saying that he's going to keep him.
Toby,
so
thanks so much, Toby.
Thanks for your call, mate. It's funny, strange, but not funny, peculiar. I think, to be honest, at this moment in time, the owner looks as though he's playing a blinder. Because I can detect, even with you and I, opinion changing.
Yeah.
I just get the feeling that the owner has maybe thought to himself, right, I'm just going to sit back here and, I'll let all the reaction, I'll see what happens, and I'll let, as I mentioned earlier, I'll let the water flow under the bridge and I'll kind of assess the situation.
The problem is that some of the content of those WhatsApp messages is pretty unsavoury.
Yeah.
I think that is becoming the issue, and the pressure put on young interns. I think that's becoming the issue every bit as much as the spying, if you like. Mike takes an opposite viewpoint to Toby. He says, Jeff, the only way we regain a shred of decency is by sacking all involved. Tonda, all his staff, analysts, anyone who sanctioned it or knew about it. If that's the director of football or head of operations, I truly don't care if 30 people go. Take the hit and start clean. It's been an overreaction, especially the 4 points, but this is the only way forward now. He said, plus sack whoever leaked the WhatsApp messages. Mike, thank you very much for that. Joining us to reflect on it all, EFL expert and former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark. Morning to you,
Morning,
Clarky.
Clarky. How are you, mate?
Morning. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. Yeah, I'm all right.
Are you surprised he's still in a job?
Staggered, if I'm honest. Yeah, and the statement from the Southampton owner, or the interview from the Southampton owner, as Ali said, it's maybe quite clever in a way. I understand where Ali's coming from there. It could help turn public opinion. The bottom line is he did a brilliant job, or he's done a brilliant job. So they don't want to lose him. And I understand that. But he has brought the club's name into serious disrepute here. The image, the reputation of Southampton Football Club is damaged massively. And they are going to be public enemies number one unless they have a clear out, and as if and until they take responsibility for what was cheating. Let's be honest. Yeah, so I feel that they have to sweep the decks, they have to make that change, and yeah, it's telling really that I think the only reason he's not gone so far is because he did such a good job in terms of taking them from the relegation zone into the playoffs. That they're reluctant to lose such a good coach. And that makes it even worse because morals go out of the window as far as Southampton are concerned, because they don't want to lose a talented coach, even though he has, broken the rules, been found guilty. I think he has to go. There's no choice, surely.
Clarky, I'm laughing. Morals went out the window with football many years ago.
I know.
Many years ago. But I think you're absolutely spot on, mate. I mean, if he hadn't been anywhere near as successful, that's the facts. If he hadn't been anywhere near as successful, he wouldn't be in the job.
Of course he wouldn't, and look, it is the pressure that the commission has found that the intern was pressurised, didn't want to do it, but was told he had to, and then obviously the implication of the quotes that the manager definitely was involved, that definitely sort of sanctioned it, and was pleased with it. Manager loved it was one of the WhatsApp messages. So look, I'm amazed that he hasn't gone, and I don't think that the Southampton supporter that you just had on, I think there'll be a few like him, but I would have thought the majority would feel really embarrassed by the actions of Tonda Eka and by Chief Executive Phil Parsons, who's been accused of misleading the inquiry. They'd be embarrassed by that, and rightly so, and therefore will want change. And if I would imagine that there'll be a little bit of pressure now put on the owner to revise his opinion from within. And look, if he doesn't want to revise his opinion, if the owner does want to stick with Tonda Eka, that's his business. But Southampton will be slaughtered by away fans.
But Clarky, they will be anyway. Doesn't matter who's in charge, they're going to be slaughtered by fans. Full stop, aren't they, next season?
Yeah, I guess so. But I just think even the way that the club has handled it, the statement that they made last night is really contradictory. It's like, yeah, we'll hold our hands up. We did things wrong, but still, there were two Middlesbrough related people on the panel, which is out of order. And there were other instances where they flip flopped during the course of that statement. I thought the tone of it was actually pretty terrible. So I think whoever's been involved in all of this sort of messy situation, I think their position, genuinely, I think it is untenable, really. But ultimately, I guess the owner has the power to do what he wants, and if he wants to stick with Eka, so be it. But it will not be a very popular decision, I don't think, among the fan base, and certainly not among the rest of the football community.
Dino has texted. He said, "I'll tell you what, embarrassed or not, I can't wait to see Southampton against Middlesbrough next year.
Well, they ain't got to play Oxford or Ipswich, have they?
That's true. Clarky, thanks very much indeed.
All the best, pal.
I shall see you later.
EFL expert and former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark with us. Brilliant, Dino. Thank you so much for that, by the way. It's
good, isn't it?
03717 223344. Southampton fans, Eckert staying, at least at the moment anyway. Are you embarrassed by that news? Or are you happy to have a manager who's got such a fantastic record? Coming up, IFAB have released their new rule adjustments ahead of the World Cup. Are they going to make any kind of positive difference? Are they going to make any kind of difference? You'll find out next. Joining us now, presenter, huge Arsenal fan, Joel Baer. Morning, Joel. Sorry to put you through that again.
Morning, Dean. Morning, Jeff. You know what? I'm here to launch an attack on them too.
Good. Are you?
Gabby and Cundy, because I don't understand how you can be on radio representing the people who love football, and that's what you come out with. They came to work wearing PSG shirts. I was in Budapest enjoying the game. I look at my timeline and it's them dancing around, celebrating. Cundy, your team, yeah, you love Chelsea, but you played for Ipswich, mate. That's where you had the majority of your appearances, Ipswich Football Club. Gabby, you played for Aston Villa. You love Thierry Henry. You told me yourself last week. Where has it gone wrong? Why is it that there's so much hate for Arsenal? Where's this come from? I mean, what do you think when you sit there and you look at it, Jeff?
No, I was embarrassed by that. Because domestically, well, not domestically, of English clubs, Arsenal have unquestionably had the best, the most successful season. You know, they've won the Premier League. They've been within a spot kick of winning the Champions League as well. Personally, I don't particularly enjoy the way they play, but you cannot deny they have been the best side this season.
100%. It's been effective. If you want to go down to the stats, you know, I had the chance to be on the Budapest show the other day. PSG have scored 45 goals this Champions League campaign. They've conceded 23. We minimalised them to just a penalty. We had a fantastic game plan. I don't see how you can be on this panel and you're celebrating and cheering and saying that football has won.
good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. Me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. JR has texted. He said the moral of the story regarding the Southampton situation is turn disappearing messages on in WhatsApp. I'm sure that's the moral of the story, but it's not a bad idea. Thank you very much indeed, JR. And Phil and Poppy say maybe Southampton will ban binoculars from away supporters in their ground next season. I think that's pretty darned good idea, Phil and Poppy. So the news this morning, Tondrek has set the stay at Southampton. And that's got everyone going this morning. Let's take another quick call. Dean is a Saints fan, wants to have his say. Morning, Dean.
Good morning, Dean.
You talking to me? It's Dino, not Dean.
Okay, we'll stick a no on the end of it, Dino.
Yeah, okay.
How are you, mate? What do you think of the situation?
Listen, I'm very good. Thank you, guys. Great show as ever.
Thank you.
Look, I think from the get-go, I can't square the piety and the noise around cheating in inverted commas when football ultimately lost its soul in that direction a very, very long time ago. You know, people diving, play acting, coaches tapping players up and chairmen tapping players up, financial doping, all of that is cheating in the context of what we're talking about here. What Eckhart, and it's not just Eckhart, what the club did, yes, there's a rule against it. The EFL chose when they created that rule not to specify a sanction. So common sense would have you believe that the sanction would be proportionately aligned with what happened before in the Leeds situation, right? So I think Saints have already been overly punished. I think the media, even some of our own media, people like Adam Blackmore on BBC Sounds, piling into Southampton's hierarchy. We're a team, we're a professional sports team, and that's from the top all the way through all the players. And yes, they've done something, they've been caught, it's wrong, they've been punished. But as a team, you stick together, you back the people in that team. And again, the stuff around the junior analyst, if you join a professional sports club where the margins are where you win or lose, you will do anything to have that club win or lose. And the rules and the governing bodies, whether it's on the pitch or off the pitch, don't do anything to get rid of those margins, particularly well. You know, otherwise a striker that clearly dives, there's no VAR in the Championship, wins a pen, they score, there's a swing of 3 points, someone gets relegated, someone gets promoted. Nobody does anything about that. Nobody calls that cheating. They, wrap it up as the dark art.
Look, they might not call it cheating, but if you put a junior intern into a position where you're asking him, telling him to break the rules, it may not be cheating, but it is unacceptable in my opinion, or immoral even in my opinion. And I do take your point, Dino. Southampton paid a very heavy price indeed, and I'm with you. I think it's time to sort of draw a line under it.
So do I.
Leave it. Let Southampton do what they want to in terms of the manager. That's my view, because they committed the crime, and they're going to do the time. So, Dino, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for the call, Dino.
Right, in the early hours this morning, England touched down in Miami ahead of the World Cup. Kicks off in 15 days' time. We've had, of course, a Premier League season full of refereeing controversy. What can we expect of the World Cup? Well, ahead of the tournament, IFAB have announced a list of rule adjustments. Some of these include, in an effort to clamp down on grappling before corners and free kicks, the VAR will be able to intervene if an attacker commits a foul before the ball is in play. There'll be a 5-second throw into countdown, 5-second goal kick countdown, theoretically at least.
Well,
time-limited subs. Players being treated by physios must stay off the pitch for 1 minute. There'll be a red card for players covering their mouth in certain situations, and VAR can check corners. Let's try and make sense of some of the new rules and why they're coming in with former Premier League ref Chris Foy. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, boys. You okay?
Yeah, we're good, thanks, mate. We're good.
The one that stands out to me straight away, Chris, is the fact that VAR can intervene if there are blocks or infringements by attacking players at set plays, which strikes me to give carte blanche to defenders.
It's interesting, isn't it? This is something that Kalina, the head of refereeing for FIFA, has asked about. He's asked the international board to look at this because he doesn't feel as though it's fair. And I think we're talking about blocking by attackers where goals are scored, where they can look at that. Yeah. But what they're not going to do is apply this in relation to attacking fouls. So that will still be under the remit of the referee on field and the VAR if they see a clear offence. So I'm pretty sure there will be more vigilance with this because obviously, as you say, Jeff, it's been a hot topic this season and we've had our differences and fallen out once or twice, as people keep reminding me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that will be looked at amongst all the other things that are going to be coming into play in the World Cup in the coming weeks.
Chris, the other one I'm looking at is players being treated by physios. Excuse me, must stay off the pitch for 1 minute. Maybe I'm missing something. What about a genuine player? For example, somebody comes in, commits a foul, yellow card for the person committing the foul. It is a serious enough injury, but they're actually compounding the foul by keeping them off the pitch for a minute. Surely you want to get somebody like that back on the pitch as quickly as possible.
That has been a really positive change, Ali, because what we had in previous seasons was if I committed a foul that was worthy of a yellow card and the referee had completed the cautioning procedure, I was allowed to stay on and you were an injured player and you would go off. So what you would find is the person who committed the foul stays on, the injured player goes off.
Correct.
That is now not the case. So if you're injured as a result of a challenge, you're allowed to stay on the field. So that's a real positive one from these amendments, I think.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I'm interested. I look at the time. It's 5 second throw-in countdown, 5 second goal kick countdown. And yeah, in terms of moving the game along, absolutely fantastic. But it puts so, goodness me, I'm on your side, Chris. It puts so much pressure on already under pressure officials, doesn't it?
I think before every tournament, you're always going to get lots of changes. And there is, there's massive amounts of pressure on the modern day match official to get the big decisions right, first and foremost, but with everything that comes in. And I think we all get frustrated, referees, players, pundits, fans about time absorption, time wasted. I think what you'll see is more pictorially it'll be where the referee's blowing the whistle and everybody can see what's happening and they're saying to the player, come on, get yourself ready, and then they're going to put the hand in the air and count down those 5 seconds. And if they don't do it, then the throwing will go the other way. So I think it's a real positive, this one.
Interesting one as well, Chris, that cards for player covering their mouths. Obviously, you see it an awful lot now. Obviously, people reading what they're saying, lip readers and all that kind of stuff. Is that effectively brought in for more? We heard one or two of the racist case. Is that why this has been brought in specifically?
Yeah, what they're talking about here is when a player is covering the mouth in a confrontational situation, they may well be sanctioned with a red card for that. So hopefully we won't see that.
Yeah.
But players, before the tournament, every squad will be briefed, every coach, every manager will be briefed on these things. We'll see over the coming days more briefings. We'll see more footage, which is great to look at, and clips from matches where these will be explained. So we've got a period now between, today probably, when the laws were implemented yesterday, and the first game, we'll see a lot more education pieces before the tournament starts.
Hey, how about that, Chris? All peace and light this morning, eh?
Can't believe it.
I'm in a state of shock, Jeff, but it is June.
We all are, Chris. I'm going for a lie down.
Brilliant.
I am lying down, Ali.
Thanks, Chris. Enjoy the World Cup, mate.
All the best, mate.
You too, guys. All the best.
Cheers.
Former Premier League ref Chris Foy. Dan is a Liverpool fan. I make Dan absolutely spot on here. He said, this is bonkers. So the amount of grappling by defenders is far more than attackers.
That's what I think.
The defenders are doing everything to put the attackers off, not the other way around.
Correct.
Yet again, it shows that the people running the game have never kicked a ball.
But you're right. Absolutely right. There's something from an attacking point of view. I think there's something beautiful about a legitimate block, right? That's... whether you're playing basketball, playing, handball, these sports, you can have football, you can have legitimate blocks, but the grappling by defenders to prevent people getting a run is a far, far greater problem than anything else.
Do you think they've just ignored that effectively?
It looks like
it would
it.
mean they would have to give penalties.
Yeah. But I don't know what you think yourself. I think once you start giving 3 or 4 penalties, it stops.
Stop. Of course it will. Carl the Saddler says, hey, gents, if this attacking foul rule from corners comes into the Premier League, then surely Arsenal are nailed on for a mid-table finish next season. That was Carl the Saddler who said that, by the way, Gunners fans, not me. Coming up, we'll be joined by the assistant manager of Royal Oak FC and social media star Steve Backnell to find out what the summer looks like for those in the world of non-league. That's coming next.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark, who are celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June and you'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. It's 7:35, Tuesday, June the 2nd, and right now it is time for this.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Yeah, listen up, the World Cup, as I'm sure you know, kicks off next Thursday. talkSPORT is sending you and a mate straight to New York to see England live with Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier.
That's correct. We're talking about a trip to watch England face Panama. Return flights, hotel, match tickets, and, of course, spending money, which will all be taken care of. Plus, Adidas is throwing in the official Trionda match ball and a fresh pair of boots. Ready to get that winning feeling? Here's how to enter, guys.
Yeah, for your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com, or you can text the word WIN, just W-I-N, to 83338. Texts and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. on June the 12th. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. As if for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 and do it now. Now we all know that for Premier League managers, the summer's no time to rest. You're in meetings trying to work out which players to offload, who to bring in. Is it the same for non-league managers? I'm delighted to say that joining us now, the assistant manager of Royal Oak FC in the Sheffield Sunday Imperial League, social media sensational as well, Steve Bracknell. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, gents. Absolute pleasure to talk to a couple of national treasures in the morning.
Thanks, pal. Hey, so what does the summer look like then for a non-league manager?
Well, usually I'd have 2 weeks all-inclusive with our Nicky. Then I'd do a bit of stuff in garden. And then I'd get to work on my Sunday League team, open trials, all that. This summer, and this is an exclusive for you two gents, might look a bit different for me.
Yeah?
I'm swapping the dog poo-ridden fields of Sheffield Sunday League for the 2026 World Cup. I'm going on playing, lads.
Steve, with the greatest respect, you and I go back a long way. We've met on numerous occasions, and I'm a big fan of you and your team. But who are you going to pick up over in this World Cup? What players are you going to pick up, mate, for the Royal Oak?
No, this is a jolly up. You have plenty of them, Ali. I'll be honest, you have plenty of jolly ups. I've seen your social media. I don't know when your wife sees you. No, I'm
just
going.
Slightly less than your Nicky sees you, I can tell you.
No, she's packed. I says to her, Nicky, can I go to World Cup? She went, Steve, I'll pack your bag for you. She's absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going on a scouting mission. The wonderful people at Sports Direct are sending me on a Winnebago around America. What on earth could go wrong?
Brilliant. That is brilliant.
I'll tell you where I'm going, Ali.
Where are you going? I'm hoping it's the opposite direction for me, mate.
Graceland. I'm going to see Elvis. I'll tell him you said all right.
Brilliant, mate. So, seriously, are you going all about the States in a Winnebago?
Yeah, honestly, we're going incognito on a big van with my face on side.
Oh, mate.
Up Dallas, up through America, and then I might just catch you in Boston, pal. I'm going to buy you a lobster roll.
Hey, Steve-O, look. Steve-O, put your official cap on. Put your sort of management type cap on. You know, if you bump into Thomas Tuchel out there, what sort of advice could you give him?
Well, let's talk about the environment first and foremost. So, if it were me, I'd be getting like one of these massive saunas. You know they have in Europe where about 80 people can get in. I'd get squad in, get a couple of treadmills, and just do a 5K every day in sauna. Because I'm telling you now, it's going to be red hot. Factor 50 job. It's going to be red hot.
was going to say, Steve, that's going to count against the team, surely. Did you have any complaints initially when you heard the squad, mate? Would you have made any different selections yourself than Thomas did?
Oh, you can't please. It's hardest job in the world because Gareth Southgate don't make brave decisions. Gareth don't. We need someone who's cutthroat. Bloke goes in, makes some big decisions, and he gets slagged for it. You can't. It's like me when I go back into the tap room on a Sunday and I've dropped, I don't know, Parksy. You're either an hero or a villain. I'm backing Tuchel. He's paid a lot of money to make big decisions and he's made them.
Yeah.
How do you see my own country doing, Steve? I'm not sure you'll be overly interested in them, but how do you see Scotland getting on, mate?
Cut the Scots open, and I'm not encouraging that. Cut the Scots open and they bleed football. I love that country. And I'm not blowing smoke, Ali. I'm being genuinely serious. I think Scotland are dark horses. I think at least last 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I would give for a player like John McGinn.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got. You know, I'm going to predict something here. I'm going to predict something. You're going to think I'm mad. Well, everybody's talking about Haiti. Yeah, and if you win the game, you're probably going to go through. I think that you will get something from Brazil. Because I don't think the Brazilian squad's up to its usual standard. I think your squad is better than it usually is. I can see Scotland getting a draw, at least, against Bral. How about that?
I'd bite your hand off. Yeah. I would absolutely bite your hand off. I'm looking, surprise people. Well, Steve, I'm looking no further than our opening game, and we have to win our opening game. Listen, mate, you're obviously over on the jolly, as you said, you'll be looking forward to it, and we'll definitely catch up, mate. I would look forward to that. What about the preparation? You've not forgotten about the preparations for your own pre-season, though, have you?
I've told landlord Terry, I've told first team manager Paul Sampson, and I've told him, Bob the Bookie. He won't come, he's scared of flying, says now I prefer Cornwall. I've told him absolutely no major decisions to be made while I'm over in the States.
Yeah.
So, because usually we have an AGM in Kitchen at Royal Oak every year, and that's where we do his 5-year forward plan. But I've told him everything's delayed, but I want open trials in August. Come and see. We need some fresh legs in there.
Brilliant. Look, Steve, have a brilliant time, and good luck next season as well, mate.
Thank you very much.
And by the way,
I'll see you in Boston and buy you a lobster roll.
I'm looking forward to that, mate. And by the way, the last time I saw you was the day before the Sheffield Wednesday's last game of the season, mate, and it was the first result I looked for at the final whistle, and you boys got that result. 0 points, eh? Brilliant.
0 points. The future is bright.
I love it, mate.
Thanks,
Take
Steve.
care,
Thanks, Steve-O. Cheers, mate.
All the best.
The assistant manager of Royal Oak FC and the Sheffield Sunday Imperial League, Steve Bracknell there. Just to mention a manager, by the way, did you see that Dave Challen has left Stockport?
No.
Yeah. Took them from the National League to the playoffs in League One, 4.5 years. Brilliant job. I'm biased. He's a mate of mine. I'm biased.
He's done great.
Absolutely brilliant job. I think you'll see.
How is he?
Good. I mean, slightly scary time, if you like.
Yeah.
At the moment, because of the uncertainty, I think you might see him managing in the Championship next season. And he deserves it. He deserves the opportunity, that is for sure. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
Later in the show, we'll be joined by this man.
Delivering across. Antonio! 2-2! Rising highest in between the two centre-backs, combining with Bowen again.
West Ham's all-time leading goal scorer, Michael Antonio, will be joining us live in the studio to look back on his Hammers career and discuss his upcoming... Well, it's his memoir. It's not so much a memoir. It's a book. A lot of interesting thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll continue to focus on the news that Tondra Eckhart is to stay as the Southampton boss. Former Saints striker Charlie Austin will join us at 8:30. If you want to have your say, 03717223344. Get your calls in. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very
See, do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in. Straight. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. We're having this conversation.
He's coming in with a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like,
honestly,
crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to?
Good morning, 7:48. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. Nick the Cherry says, lump on Brazil smashing Scotland at the World Cup. This is the same Jeff Stelling that said Bournemouth would be relegated this season. Nick, you're absolutely right. But there were plenty of other people who thought exactly the same. You haven't mentioned the fact I said Man United would finish in the Champions League places.
Oh, Nick, come on.
Have you, Nick?
Bit of balance.
So, come on. Yeah, a bit of balance, mate. A bit of balance. Right, time now for our coffee break with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
Right, now it is time for a bit of this.
Stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello? Oh, what's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise, fuck, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time, that's what I was doing.
At the time?
And Angelina Kelly is back with us. Hi again, Angelina.
Hello. Yes, it is time for Transfer Tinder. So you know the drill. We're swiping right if we're liking the transfer. We're swiping left if you're absolutely not having it. So first up, Eli Krupi to Arsenal. So PSG are reportedly in the DMs. They are interested, but Mikel Arteta is demanding the board keep their ambition high after winning the Premier League, and Krupi is top of his wish list. Broke the record for the most Premier League goals from a teenager in his debut season. Can play on the left, can play up front. Feels like a bit of a Gabriel Jesus profile, just younger and probably a bit better. What we thinking?
I'm left, actually. I like him.
I know, left is if you're not having it. You don't want the transfer.
Oh, I'm going right.
you're going right.
I'm definitely
Go.
got a match.
That's good. Did you not listen?
I did, but I keep asking you every question. So, right, if you like it?
Yeah.
Right. This is me trying to give everybody, I don't know what I'm talking about Tinder. No, definitely right. I think he's a exceptional young talent, a brilliant season. You can argue, is he exactly what Arsenal need at this moment in time, the finished product in a forward area? Probably not, but I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Depends totally on the price.
Yeah.
Totally on the price, because he had a fantastic season. He's an exciting young player, but I mean, there it is, young player.
Reports of 80 million.
80 million. Well, in that case, I'm
No.
swiping left.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you changed your mind now?
Well, if it's 80 million, I'm going
Right,
left.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, price dependent, fair enough. Next, we have got Marc Cucurella to Atletico Madrid. So he's not short of suitors. Barcelona, Real Madrid and Athletic reportedly willing to swipe right on the left back. He did an interview with The Athletic back in March and he was saying that Barcelona would be hard to turn down. Some Atletico defenders, Mark Puel is acting as wingman, has been encouraging Cucurella to make the move. Chelsea reportedly will not block an exit for Cucurella if an offer matches their valuation. What do we think?
I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's one of these players that every other fan base does not like.
Yeah.
And he should be taking that as a compliment. And bearing that in mind, he's probably going to a club that everybody doesn't like either, and that's Atletico Madrid. So, from that point of view, it's probably a dream move.
Yeah.
So, I'm going right with that one.
Yeah, and there are, you're right, there's a host of clubs who've been interested. I've seen him linked with Man City as well. And of course, the issue there would be they've got Nick O'Reilly. But you know, maybe Riley could play in a more advanced role in midfield. He certainly looks as if he's capable of that. And you need a big squad as well. I think from an opposition perspective, he's irritating as they come. Would I want him in my team? Every single time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Every time.
Correct.
So I would swipe right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Got a match.
Next, we have got Hayden Hackney to Newcastle United. So Newcastle's midfield looking to add some serious spark. They've spotted a top-tier prospect just down the road. Northeast, match made in heaven maybe. He's entered the final year of his contract. Valued at 30 million. Manchester United have been linked as well because of that Michael Carrick connection he brought him through at Middlesbrough. David Ornstein is saying that Everton are also potentially interested as well. But focusing on, do we think Newcastle United, do we like the idea of that?
Yeah, I think he's the sort of player that Newcastle needs. Somebody who can open the door, unlock defence as he'd be staying in the northeast, wouldn't it? It makes me smile, actually, when you talk about Newcastle United and Manchester United and Everton. Yeah, remember not so long ago, Spurs fans saying, we don't want him, he's a championship player. We don't want to sign championship players.
Correct.
Okay, well, don't bother, boys, because everybody else is interested.
Yeah, I think any of those sides, Newcastle United, Manchester United or Everton, I think all would
100%.
take him.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you definitely swipe right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then if
got a
for some
match.
reason Spurs managed to buy him, Jamie O'Hara would have to make
Oh,
an
no.
apology.
Not
wouldn't
for
he,
Jamie. Not
after that
championship
row with Alex Crook saying he didn't want players from the Championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big
Not on
apologies.
that.
Yeah, that's out of order, wasn't it? You know it's bad because he's making Alex Crook look good. That's how you know.
He's a good player. Hayden Hackney looks a Premier League
Yeah.
player, doesn't he? And, it'd be a massive...
And nobody would know him better, of course, than Michael Carrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, we've got Pep Guardiola to Inter Miami. So with Javier Mascherano stepping down, Sir David Beckham has been eyeing up Pep. But Pep has apparently left Beckham on red, snubbing the approach. 100% committed to enjoying a relaxing sabbatical.
That's exactly
and
what he'll be.
Of course it is. And let's be honest, he can have any job in the world. So why is he going to go to a place like
Messi reunion,
Inter
maybe?
Miami? I'm sorry. It's still a place where you go when you're done, with all due respect.
Pep's not done, is it?
Pep's not done. Pep is a manager at the highest calibre, and he will not want to continue his managerial career at somewhere like, with all due respect, Inter Miami.
There is absolutely no chance of that happening. None whatsoever. Pep will go away. He'll do exactly what he's going to say. He'll recharge his batteries. He'll have a well-earned rest, and then he'll assess his options, which will be plentiful, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And he'll make a decision there.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Fair enough to Bex. He's tried his best there.
Oh.
He's got, you can't blame him for trying, can you? But I think we're swiping left on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely.
Yeah, you can't blame. God loves a trier, but you would suggest that may be pie in the sky, that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think you see the headline there, to be absolutely honest with you. Angelina, thank you very much indeed.
We had a couple of white rights.
We did all right
Got a
there.
few
Yeah, for
matches,
you and I,
didn't
that's
we?
quite good. 'Cause
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We should do a few transfers at my club at the moment, but hey, for non-league sides, it's early because players are still with
Quiet at the moment.
Well, you know what? Most players at that level are out of contract at the end of June.
Yeah.
So most clubs do not buy before the end of June because they will then be obliged to pay that player.
See, in terms of the contracts at kind of non-league level, Jeff, I take it they're more 1-2 years.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd maybe give really exceptional talents 2 years, but the bog standard contract is a year. You know, so I don't.
If it's based on budgets, yearly budgets.
Yeah,
I get that. Totally.
And for a player, of course, it gives you zero security. But, that's the name of the game, I'm afraid, at that level. Angelina, thank you very much indeed.
Angelina.
And that was all thanks to Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
Paul says, Jeff, at the beginning of the season, you were hopeful for Leeds, but you were sceptical on where the goals would come from. I'm Leeds through and through, and I agreed to you. Isn't it great to be wrong now and then?
Exactly.
Yeah, completely agree. And Daz, the Arsenal fan, says, Scotland won, Brazil 0. It's gonna happen.
I hope so, Daz.
Coming up, England have arrived in Miami for the World Cup, and the talkSPORT team are on their way. We'll build up to the competition that gets underway in 10 days' time, and that's next.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton and how, we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old who's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And
Do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectation?
They couldn't deal with the expectation, but also the abuse you get from the stands. The
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins,
Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Yeah, 4 minutes past 8 o'clock, Tuesday, June the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event and get 2 years free servicing, plus the chance to win the cost of it back this June. On the way for you this morning, West Ham's record Premier League goal scorer Mikel Antonio will join us right here in the studio. We'll ask him about his departure from West Ham and how that horrendous car crash has affected him and his career. It's a really interesting book that he has out at the moment. We'll chat Spygate with former Southampton striker Charlie Austin. Saints owner Dragon Solak said he won't sack the manager Tonda Eckert, who authorised the spy mission, saying he deserves a second chance. Jonesy on X has messaged me, so I'm not surprised Southampton are keeping Eckert. In my opinion, football almost completely lost any morals years ago. He cost Saints everything, yet still they keep him as they may win games. As Ricky Gervais said, if Satan paid the best wages, you'd sign for him. You need to laugh now. we've been talking Scotland as well, and Scott has texted. He says, Jeff, you're 100% right. Scotland will beat Brazil, but knowing Scotland, Haiti will beat Scotland. That's the life of a Scotland fan, I'm afraid. So the World Cup is on its way, and it starts in 9 days.
The greatest and most prestigious football tournament in the world.
We are inviting the world back.
And Brazil win the World Cup.
We're really excited to continue the preparations and get ready to welcome the world.
And so to the football.
It's Iniesta to win the World Cup for Spain. The magic matches and the fantastic football. Germany in seventh heaven. Brazil in footballing hell. And France are the World Cup winners in 2018.
Anyone could win this World Cup.
Mbappe has a hat-trick. He has his place in history.
To all the French team, we love you, and we're going to come back in 4 years. Now, 25 yards out, right of centre, left-footed corner! Oh my goodness!
Harry Kane attacking it. Stoops, conquers, and England leads.
I think everything is possible, but we have to make it possible.
Well, it will be a fantastic event. It will be 104 Super Bowls in 1 month.
Scotland are going to the World Cup finals! Kenny McLean!
The real test now will be when we get there. How can we turn up?
Dust off your passports, pack your suitcases. England are on their way.
And that's right, talkSPORT will have all 104 games of the World Cup. 104 games. And Matt will be right at the heart of the coverage is our voice of live football, Adrian Durham, who's joined us here in the studio. Morning, Aid.
How are you, Aid?
Jeff Ali, I'm absolutely fine. I'm really excited.
How many are you doing? You're doing 103 of those 104?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to seal the 104th as well. Maybe they'll take me off the Scotland ones. I don't know.
I think we should.
I can't do all the little games. Do you know what I mean? I'm joking. But yeah, fly tomorrow. Very, very excited about the whole thing, yeah.
I tell you, I knew your preparation would be good, mate, but flying out tomorrow, I mean, that is preparation.
Well, England have got a friendly in Florida on Saturday, and we've got it live on talkSPORT, so got to be out there for the build-up to that and for the game itself. So, yeah, I mean, this has hit us really quick. I thought May might be a month where you can take a little bit of a back. Honestly, it's been ridiculous, mate, but in a good way, obviously.
So tell me then, obviously you're over for England. Are you going to be on the road? Are you going to have a base? What's the plan?
Well, the first week or so is in Florida where the two friendlies are, but flitting between them, Tampa, Miami, etc., Fort Lauderdale. So, and then after that, we basically fly to whatever game we're doing, and that will include all the England games. So we're off to Dallas, we're off to New Jersey or whatever. So it's 2 or 3 nights in one place and then up and go. So you can't leave your bags anywhere. You're up and about. You're a nomad for 6-7 months.
I know that's kind of problem myself.
But Ali, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I know.
I mean, everybody in the nation, their heart's bleeding for you two. Out for the entire World Cup and getting paid for it. I mean,
you are not wrong, and I'll say it before Aid does. We're the luckiest boys alive.
Yeah,
luckiest
I
boys
do feel
alive.
privileged. Yeah. It's a brilliant job.
What's Thomas Tuchel going to be thinking at the weekend? First friendly comes up on Saturday night. I mean, does he care about the performance, or is he just hoping there are no Billy Gilmores?
Yeah, that is a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's got to be hoping that, absolutely. But when we look at New Zealand, who have qualified, and this is who we're playing on Saturday, they have qualified, but they've got, if I say they've got a Peterborough United midfielder in their squad, you'll know the player for player, England should be winning the game and coasting through it as well. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. They've also got a player who got relegated from the National League with Braintree Town in their squad as well. So,
in fairness, I was at Braintree against Hartlepool last season. Hey, they're a decent little outfit.
Did you lose that as well?
No, it was goalless. It was a 0-0 thriller.
That's a great point on the road. But yeah, so I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it should be a mismatch. So you shouldn't be going in full throttle in these friendlies in terms of your challenges and your tackling, risking injury, etc. So yeah, I think that's the priority. No injuries.
How are England going to handle, which I think might be not only their biggest problem, but certainly a few the team's biggest problem, and that'd be the heat. Because I mean, a lot of people probably I'm saying they don't understand, but they probably don't appreciate playing in those conditions as alien to a lot of players, and it's just so energy sapping. It's unbelievable.
Ali, have you seen me? My biggest problem is the heat.
Listen, I had one look at you. I thought to myself, I mean, you should be Scottish with a great respect. And I know for a fact you'll have your own suitcase full of Factor 54 or something like that. But I'm more concerned about how the players are going to handle it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is going to be a problem. If you look at the stadiums as well, for people like me, it's going to be a problem because they're all, well, a lot of them are fairly open.
Correct.
With bright sunlight on them. So you could be sitting in the sun for a long time. So I've got to sort that out. Factor 50 is no good. Factor 50,000 might work. But in terms of the players, I think we could see some slow tempo. But actually, I think that this could be where those players with bursts of pace really shine. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Rashford does at this World Cup for England, because I think he could be that kind of almost secret weapon, if you like, who's not so secret. Because while everybody else is trying to slow the pace down, suddenly he'll get the ball and go. And that could be the difference between winning and losing again.
Yeah, and he may be very much in the shop window as well.
Absolutely.
At the time. I mean, for me, the biggest issue isn't the weather. It's coping with the level of expectation. We saw Harry Kane say just the other day, yet again, people now expect us to win the World Cup.
But that's what Thomas Tuchel's been brought in for. So I think that's legitimate. I think that's right. Gareth was brilliant. I mean, he turned us from having so much baggage and not expecting to do anything to actually going deep into tournaments, getting to finals, which had never really happened before. So that's what, and he then couldn't see us over the line. Thomas Tuchel specifically has been brought in to get that over the line, win a World Cup, win a tournament. So I think that expectation isn't unreasonable.
Yeah.
Can they do it?
No. I don't know. Let's be fair. There's some brilliant players that have been left out of the squad, so that should tell you that the players in the squad are even better. People will debate that, and they'll probably disagree with certain individuals, but this should be a team that goes deep into the tournament. I mean, the route there is complicated, and it feels to me like finishing second, which we may well do, finish second to Ghana, might be a better route through to a final for England. We'll see. But
I love it. I do. I love it. I love the way.
I think England would finish second to Ghana.
Have you seen Ghana? They're really good. Honestly,
it's like 52nd ranked in the world or something.
Yeah, but hang on a minute.
I saw their squad. It's dreadful.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think when we lost to Senegal at Forest?
Yeah, I thought it was a friendly. It didn't matter a bit.
It was good.
Yeah, Senegal, but Senegal are better than Ghana.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like England will be slow out of the blocks, and they'll take it. They'll pace themselves, if you like. And actually, Gareth Southgate's big thing was just get out of the group. So remember the 0-0 with the USA and Qatar.
Yeah.
So.
But that could cost you big time, though.
Possibly, yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
I know.
And it could be. But look, they've got a chance of winning it. I'm not going to put my house on it, though.
Yeah, Scotland against Brazil, Aid. What do you think?
It's a little bit of a mismatch. I mean, if Scotland had picked
Scotland are pretty good, but I wouldn't call it a mismatch from Brazil's.
I think Brazil could. I don't think many people fancy them. I think of all the fancied teams, they're probably the least fancied, if you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I actually think they could spring a surprise.
Well, I've got a
here.
brilliant coach, haven't they? Let's not kid ourselves on.
Well, that'll be Italy winning the World Cup if he wins it. Yeah.
Well, we've got you here. Your views on what's happening at Southampton?
It's incredible. I actually can't believe.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought that they would.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they'd cut ties and move on. But wow, I mean, I don't understand how they see that as the way forward, really.
Because he's a very good coach, probably.
Well, is he? Or does he need to spy on everybody?
Well, the fact of the matter is he turned them around. But nobody can deny that.
How did he do that?
When he's So you think he won't be able to do the same unless he's spying?
Well, he won't be able to if he's banned, but I think...
I'm just not surprised, actually.
Are you not?
No.
What are you saying about Southampton?
Well, you know, Sean, whether we like it or not, it's a results-driven business, right? And Southampton have been punished very, very severely, right? His reputation's probably as low as it's been. So I think the owner has decided he's going to sit back. I said to Jeff, I think he's going to let the water go under the bridge, try and take the sting out of the situation. And I know it'll rear its ugly head again at every away ground. I get all that. But I think he obviously feels he's too good a coach to let go.
We shall see.
Whether that's right or wrong or not.
I think that the fans' relationship with Tonderecker is broken because the fans see him as the man who cost them that place at Wembley.
Sure, but if he starts the next season, wins the first 5 games, that'll be repaired. You know what football fans are like. By the way, You boys missed a trick, because we all know who's going to win the World Cup according to Dino. Dean Saunders was on the show yesterday, and he said to me, he said, Norway will win every game in the World Cup, but they won't win it. I said, no, Dino. I said, if they win every game in the World Cup, they will win it. It was the most mind-boggling thing I've ever heard. I think he meant every group
This was
game.
the man that tipped somebody to win the US Masters that wasn't playing in the
Nothing more Dino than that.
Yeah, he was on the top of his game yet again.
Brilliant.
Aid, have a fantastic trip.
I'll see you over there, hopefully, mate.
By the way, I've read Michael Antonio's book.
Yeah.
It is sensational.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
very different, far from the usual footballers.
Absolutely.
Look forward to
biography.
that.
Yeah, very much so. Thanks, Aid. And a reminder, talkSPORT, your home of the World Cup. 104 games live across the network. You won't miss a thing. Coming up, someone who was playing at Soccer Ed had a request for Ally McCoist. You'll find out what it is next.
I saw Rich. I saw Gabby Bonahor and Jason Cundy in PSG shirts.
Yeah.
Does that really get to you so much?
Really?
Well, to be honest, I'll be honest with you. I love talkSPORT, and I've been on a million times.
Yeah.
It's put me off listening to talkSPORT. I can only listen to this program now because you're the only ones, whether I agree with Simon or not sometimes, he talks sense, and it's pragmatic, real analysis. But all the other programs now, especially the Sports Bar and especially your morning program, it's built around trying to anger other people into phoning in, trying to wind us up, and it's become. We don't care who likes us or who doesn't, because I'll tell you what, you don't hate the way we play, you hate the way we win.
Yeah, but it
And
sounds like you've taken the bait, Rich.
Well, I have taken the bait insofar as talkSPORT, you are the perpetrators between, like I said, Beavis and Butthead that now have turned the Sports Bar into some sort of comedy relief. It's no longer about real pragmatic analysis about the game and about the team.
No, that's what you get. That's what you get here, as you said moments ago.
Yeah, but the Sports Bar used to be really good. Drive, even though Adrian Durham has always hated Arsenal, right? But even goes that, we had the Daily Arsenal all those years ago with Adrian Durham.
Listen, let's finish on a positive note. Can you win honours consistently with pragmatism at your heart? Do you need an evolutionary change at Arsenal to go on?
very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist, 8:20, Tuesday, June the 2nd. Jed from Liverpool's reminded us, Jeff, could you just take a minute to tell all Johnny Englanders snapping at Scotland that England have only won one more tournament than Scotland in their history? I suppose it's coming home again. Yeah, fair point. We know Coisty is loved by people all over the world. Well, he's probably met them all individually because he's been absolutely everywhere. But we might have found his number one fan. Here's talkSPORT's Ollie Klink speaking with the lead singer of Scottish rock band Biffy Clyro, Simon Neil.
Ally McCoist is everything to me. I mean, I've been to see Ally play from when I was like 8 years old, right up to probably Ally retired. I remember seeing him scoring an overhead kick against Hibs in the Scottish Cup final, which was my first cup final I'd ever been to. I'd gone with all my pals, and then seeing him, I met him at my school once as well, which Ally won't remember because he used to do lots of school appearances, but I've got a photo that pride of place of me as like a young child, and Ally's a young boy then, it really as well. But honestly, McCoist and Hateley, that combination, you know, I remember them tearing apart Leeds down at Elland Road when Leeds were the best team in England, and I'll never forget the Hateley volley and the Ally dive and header. It's just, there's just so many moments with Ally.
It's iconic, isn't it?
Ally, I love you. I love you. True love.
True love, Coisty.
I remember meeting the boys, honestly, on a good few occasions, seen them a few times as well. Great lads, you know. I think Gillette and I met them down at Kilmarnock as well, Simon. They've been a great band. They've been on the go for a long, long time. And the last time I met Sammy reminded me when I went to school, and crikey, I don't know how many years that would be, Jeff. But he's obviously a wee boy, and I was a bigger boy, and I'm a bigger boy, now a bigger, older boy. But that's nice, very nice.
Yeah, brilliant. You know, it's always nice when
isn't it?
You meet somebody who sort of admires what you do and the work you put in.
That was lovely.
Right, let's get the latest on, shall we, with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Morning, John. How are you doing?
Morning, John. How are you, pal?
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ali. Yeah, cracking form, thank you, lads. Really good form. The weather's beautiful at the moment, isn't it? World Cup, what are we now? Less than 2 weeks away. It's going to be on us very fast, isn't it? Really can't wait, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously England are going to be well back. We know that. I mean, tell us the odds, first of all, and then we'll talk about it, John.
Yeah, well, they are going to be well back. They always are, aren't they? The patriotic support for England always comes with the bookmakers, and we always get worried about that. But in terms of the market, look, it's 92 joint favourites, France and Spain at the top of the betting going into it. England, as I mentioned, 13-2. Then you've got Argentina, 8-1, the defending champions. Brazil, 8-1. And Portugal 10-1, and you know it basically suggests absolutely wide open, isn't it? There we're going into this. You know, I can't name a winner, that's for sure. I think there's at least 6 or 7 teams that could win this. It's fair to say, Ali.
I fancy France, John. I've got to say, but you're right. I think there's 6 or 7 teams. I would probably, I'd probably have a top 3, maybe France, Spain. Bring Argentina in, and then after that you've got anything Brazil, England. There's a few teams round about there, John. I can't wait with Adrian in there. He's off. I think he said he's off tomorrow, which is exceptional preparation. I've got another week. I'm away a week today before I get to Mexico City, but I can't wait, mate. It's one of these tournaments. I'm lucky. I'm on the road, John, and I'll be travelling bits and pieces. And some of the games, what will be on, we'll just watch them anywhere. We'll watch them in hotels and watch them in bars, and then we'll beat a lot of them as well. I can't wait. Bring it on. But my tip would be France. There's no. I mean, it's not anything shocking or outrageous that I've said there. I just think France.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it at the price, just to the price. I quite fancy Argentina. I don't get why Brazil are the same price as them.
I'm with you, Jeff.
In qualifying, Argentina finished 10 points ahead, and they battered Brazil the last time they played as well.
I don't think Brazil are up to much these days. I really don't.
Do you know what I think, John? Do you know what I think, mate? I think the best team, the team with the best midfield in the tournament might not really, I wouldn't say they're going under the radar, but once again, they always get mentioned, but not really outrageously in dispatches, and that would be Portugal. And I take it a step further, John. I think their chances might be enhanced, believe it or not, if they didn't play Ronaldo.
Absolutely right, yeah, but it's a brave decision for the manager, isn't it, not to play Ronaldo? Maybe that's the problem they've got, but I agree. I think midfield-wise, I don't think France or Spain midfield's the best, to be perfectly honest with you, but their attacking line's outstanding, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be fascinating, isn't it? It really is. And we know there's probably you need to win a penalty shootout or extra time at some stage of the tournament to win it. The statistics say that, so fascinating.
That's why Ivan Toney's going, I think, And
agreed. And it could be a smart choice, that.
Yeah, just on Portugal, and I agree with you. And look at their squad; it's a brilliant squad. I think this is their last chance. This sort of golden era of Portuguese football, if you like. Obviously, Ronaldo's in his 40s now. Bruno Fernandes, 31, 32. Bernardo Silva, same sort of age. Cancelo, Semedo, 32. They're all. This is going to be their last World Cup together.
It is.
As such. So I certainly think they've got an opportunity. Let's look at a bit of racing, shall we, John? Because, of course, Oaks and Derby this weekend. Is it going to be another Aidan O'Brien celebration?
I tell you what's interesting, John. I'm looking at it. I've got the post in front of me. And Kieran Fallon, one of the best of all time.
Without doubt.
Reckons Constitution River would have won the Derby. And Benvenuto, I beg your pardon, Cellini, will win the Derby. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Well, look, Kieran Fallon, one of the greatest to ever do it, isn't he? And he's ridden for Aidan O'Brien. But the one thing about Aidan O'Brien, he gets it right year in, year out in terms of which route, he goes with his horses. And he thinks Benvenuto Cellini is his Derby horse. He was impressive at Chester. Boy, was impressive in the Chester Vars. Did it very, very nicely. Look, he's going to be the 7-4 favourite. Aidan's won this race 11 times, which is just astonishing numbers, aren't they, really? And, this could be his latest star. And, really looking forward to the race on Saturday.
I was interested to see him talking about, Benvenuto Cellini. He said, probably faster than Galileo.
Yeah.
In which case you think, okay, that's quite a big price, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And Galileo, don't forget, produced 5 Derby winners, hasn't he, as a sire, been a unbelievable sire. But this is actually a Frankel horse, believe it or not, this latest one. So that's going to be interesting. And then 24 hours earlier, the Oaks, obviously the fillies in action at Epsom. And again, Aidan O'Brien at the top end of the market with Amelia Earhart. He's got the favourite there. Another one who impressed at Chester. Was a winner of the Chester Oaks, so we'll see if she can complete the double there. But great racing at Epsom. Not sure what the weather forecast later in the week. I think there's some forecast rain, isn't there? So I'm not sure that's going to impact the ground at Epsom or not.
It's been raining here this morning.
There's plenty knocking about this morning, John.
It'd be interesting to keep an eye on the crowds as well, hasn't it? Because we all know the Derby's been in decline, but racing in general appears to be attracting, younger audiences.
Yeah.
Big attendances as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be really interested to see whether that's reflected at Epsom on Friday and Saturday as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. Look, the Derby is the biggest race in the world, isn't it? It should be anyway on the flat. Let's hope they get a good crowd down there. It'd be great if they could. And look, racers doing their best. They're trying their best with these music nights. They're not for everyone, are they? But some people enjoy going along, gets them into the sport, and that cannot be a bad thing. So best of luck there. And just to finish off, I'm keeping fingers crossed here. The Rochdale man is being linked with the Stockport job, Jeff. So I'm hoping he doesn't go because we're on to something special at the moment. But you certainly wouldn't, blame him. It's a much bigger job, and obviously. Done a great job getting Rochdale back in the Football League. So I'll be keeping an eye on the news over the next few days, put it that way.
Yeah, he has. He got big boots to fill in Dave Challoner. Yeah. Trust me,
John.
He's
done a great job, hasn't he?
Absolutely fantastic. John, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, John. All the best.
Cheers, guys.
And that was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Coming up, we'll be joined live by the former Southampton striker Charlie Austin to react to the news that Tonda Eckert is set to stay as Saints boss.
When you guys won it in '98, the double, did you evolve after that?
We knew
or
that
did you stay the same?
We wanted to play offensive football, you know, because for me, I totally agree with you, Simon. I will probably add something, you know, that for me is very important. You cannot play next season the same way because I think the pressure will be high, you know, in the medias, but as well from the fans, even from the Arsenal fans. Everybody is very happy and very proud of winning the Premier League this season. But we are a little bit frustrated in terms of the way they play. So for me, the most important, except the fans and the press, is the players. Do you think the players are very happy to play the way they did? Even thinking that they were leading the score against Paris Saint-Germain, even thinking that Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world, that there is no shame to defend against this team because they are such good players, you know. But do you think that Arsenal, the players, will be happy to do exactly the same thing next season? You have to enjoy what you're doing on the pitch. This is the best way of winning things.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, something's going to break, you know, into the team.
Would you have enjoyed playing like Arsenal play?
This way?
Yeah.
If I won the Champions League, of course. But they didn't.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters. But it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the tax man at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and Arnold Clark, who's celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June and you will be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. Can always rely on Greeno the Postie to bring up important topics.
Come on, Greeno.
Morning legends. Enough of this World Cup. We're only going to be disappointed again. More important things on the box now, Jeff. Love Island started last night. Hope you tuned in. Come on, Greeno. What do you take me for? Believe it or not, they've got a woman called Lola on it. And she's a detective.
No.
You see? So, I knew this program
Your knowledge is...
I knew it was going to get PC. It's going to get... I glanced through it just for a fraction of a second. I think Robin, the Scouse girl, I think she might go far. Young Scouse girl.
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. No idea what's up.
You were a Love Island fan. I know you are.
I have never in my life seen it. I have not seen it.
No, you haven't.
I've never seen it. I've seen the papers. I know what it's about and all that stuff. But no, not for me. You surprise me.
It's a social experiment.
Your knowledge surprises me.
No.
I know.
I wasn't really watching it in passing.
I know. Generally speaking, we've got to keep on top of all things, you and I. But that would be.
One of the guys was called Ope. If he gets knocked out, will it be hopeless? Then they've got a model in, and a guy who's a model.
I would imagine they're going to fill up our TV screens with beautiful people. I mean, that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's why you and I. That's why you and I are on radio, isn't it, Coisty?
Yes. Never quite. Do you think our days of making the cut for Love Island have gone? Think they've sailed?
Yeah.
I think that ship's away, Jeff.
Anyway, Greeno, I didn't see it, mate. So I didn't. I honestly didn't. I just caught a moment or two of it while I was flicking through.
Sure I'm buying that.
Anyway, now the fallout from Southampton's Spygate scandal reaching boiling point, if you like, after the release of damning new disciplinary documents. But in a twist, the club's hierarchy is backing head coach Tonda Eckert and keeping him at the club. Saints owner Dragan Sulak released a statement on Southampton's X account this morning. This is what he had to say.
We accept that mistakes have been made at the club level. Rules have been broken. There must be a consequence. And I'll take responsibility for that. But I also believe the sanction imposed is grossly disproportionate. As I have said, I want to close this chapter and look ahead. And I want to look ahead together as one, including Tonda and his staff. Tonda's period as our head coach has been a success so far. Our form during 2026 has been remarkable, and we believe he is the man to take us forward. As a board, we are fully behind him, and together we only have one objective. We want promotion back to Premier League.
For more on this, let's say a very good morning to former Southampton striker Charlie Austin. Morning, Charlie.
Morning, Charlie.
Morning, chaps. How are we?
We're in top
form. Very good, thanks, mate. Look, I mean, are they right to stand by him? Isn't he unlucky in the sense that he's just the one who got caught?
If you want to say that, he was lucky to be. He was unlucky, the one that got caught. However, if you get caught, you should be punished. Now the club have been punished, right? Severely punished, and they had to be. That had to happen, and the reason why I said that had to happen was no club can ever risk ever trying to do that again, or to even be caught, because it's the biggest game in the EFL calendar, and the punishment had to be shown to all the other teams that no matter what, if you are caught doing this again, this is the punishment, and we do go to the extreme. So I guess I understand where the owner is saying that he wants to close this chapter and move on. I'm just not sure it's that easy.
Well, I don't think it is for a minute, Charlie, because I think no matter what happens, it'll continue away grounds next season and all that stuff, and that's fine because that's part of football. That's what fans do. But where I'm sitting right now, I think they certainly have been punished. I don't have a problem at all with the punishment, Charlie. It was harsh and it was severe, but a lot of people, probably include myself, I thought it was warranted. Now, that's one side, and that's put to side. From that, they can now move on. But it's clear now that Dragan Sulak, he's the one that has to deal with the punishment of the coach and the manager, and he sees it fit. I don't know if there has been he's taken any personal action against them, but clearly whatever has happened, he thinks now there is enough water under the bridge for them as a pair and involving the club, for him to both of them to run the club, to move on. Where are you with that?
I totally understand that, and I think he says internally we will deal with the situation, and obviously he has, and if he has or hasn't, that ultimately that's nothing to do with us. That's Southampton Football Club doing that. I guess I am surprised that he's still in charge because of the punishment that happened and it prevented them getting to to the Premier League. However, he's obviously seeing him as he's the man to take the football club back, and that's why he hasn't sacked him now, and he didn't sack him as soon as the news broke that they wasn't going to play in the playoff final.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they've been caught spying, and they've been punished, and everybody, I think, agrees they've been punished, pretty heavily. But it seems to me that what it's about now, Charlie, isn't actually the spying anymore. It's about those WhatsApps and the fact that, seemingly young interns there have been pressured into, effectively breaking football's laws and the such like. And it's whether that is acceptable at the football club.
Well, if it's at that football club or any football club or any workplace, that's not acceptable, right? So we're going to keep looking at, if we're looking for these messages, etc., then we're going to unfortunately find out more and more if that's what the commission are going to do and release it. So we're going to see these certain things and these messages, and it's going to be damning towards Southampton. It really is, but also it's going to be damning to the manager. That's the problem. But as the football club's coming out and backing the manager, they need to be prepared for I guess the flack that's going to come from opposition fans. The media, we're going to constantly talk about these things because this is what's going to come out. And ultimately, if what we're reading is clearly true, then that's not great. And it's coming from the main person of the football club. As everyone says, it's a results business, and the buck stops at the manager's door.
Charlie, is it not so much a case of, like, we can all talk about morals till the cows come home, and we're going to all sit on our high horse and say this, that, and the next thing. Is it not really just a case of that the owner, Dragan Solak, thinks that the coach is too good to sack, and that's his best chance of promotion?
And this is the thing. We go on about football, but football is a results-driven business. And when it comes to morals and all that kind of stuff in football, it is about 3 points on a Saturday and a week. And the fact we can laugh about that, and I can actually say that confidently, just shows where football is, don't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, thanks so much, mate.
Charlie, you enjoying that golf today? You're obviously golfing, me man, am I right?
I've just dropped the little man at school, and I'm looking towards, praying them rain clouds stay away from my golf club.
Enjoy it, pal.
Have a great day,
Take
Charlie.
care, chaps.
See you, mate.
See you later.
Former Saint striker Charlie Austin with us there. Just a reminder, we're giving you the chance to win a trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. You and a mate could be in New York on June 27, seeing England against Panama live. We've got your flights, hotel, spending money, match tickets, and the official tree under match ball all covered. Head to talksportwin.com to enter, and for full T and C's right now.
I've noticed there's no Scotland tickets up for grabs, Jeff. Is that? Yeah. What's the problem? Is there a problem here?
Can't get hold of Scotland tickets. There's so many fans going out there for Scotland.
That's a good answer, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to be with the Scotland fans. Well, actually, after some of my stuff on X, maybe I wouldn't love to be with the Scotland fans. I got a bit of flack.
Did you really? I don't believe
Oh, yes, a little bit of flack. You might have done from time to time.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah. But in general terms, look, I spent a bit of time, at the Euros with the Scotland fans in Munich. Oh, absolutely. My God, they were absolutely
tremendous.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarx Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarx.
In around 45 minutes, we'll be joined by West Ham's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer, Michail Antonio, who'll be with us to reflect on his career ahead of the release of his new book, Humans Not Robots. And that was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
Perry Groves joins us now. Perry.
Good evening, Perry.
Evening, commiserations.
Good evening. Don't want your commiserations.
I've seen you in
Stick your commiserations where the sun don't shine.
No, listen.
I don't want your hollow whatever.
No.
Stick it.
No. It's commiserations.
No, it's not.
No, I think there is commiserations. I think it's fair.
No, because you're pleased.
No, I am delighted.
Do you know what? It's a weird thing, right? I don't get people taking great pleasure from other people's misfortunes.
What do you mean?
Right? Well, when I was brought up, right, to want to be successful myself, right, and reach my goals. Yeah. But if someone else is successful, be pleased from. The only caveat that is that mob up the road with Spurs, because if they'd have won it in 2019, I'd have emigrated. I'd have gone to Sydney with my boy. Right. But other than that, I don't. You'd rather a French team beat an English team.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
100%.
Do you know what? It just shows you how shallow you both are.
No, not shallow. Being honest.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Because I want Chelsea in it against a foreign team because I want an English team to do well.
Why? Well, I don't get that argument. I don't get it. I never will get it. The hate has got to go deep in the heart.
No, that's why. That's the thing. I don't hate. That's the difference.
I do.
Apart from that, how energy sapping is that? How much are in people's heads?
No,
everyone's different though, Perry. I get what you're saying, but there's people that are like me and Cundy that don't want another English team to do well.
Yeah, but again,
different opinions, isn't it?
Yeah, but
I didn't want Villa to win the Europa League because I put them in the Champions League. I didn't want that. I know they got them in the league anyway.
Shallow.
No, but it's nothing against Gab. I just don't want Arsenal. Also, the only side in London to win the Champions League is Chelsea, and that's
that's another thing. By the way, I heard you say that you're not a big club if you haven't won the Champions League.
No, you can't sit at the top table.
Right. So you're saying Nottingham Forest are a bigger club than Arsenal?
Yeah, because they won the.
So they're a big club. So you're saying Steaua Bucharest are a big club than Arsenal?
Good morning, 8:49, Tuesday, June the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. Headlines this morning. Southampton owner Dragan Surluk says he won't sack Tonda Eckert despite the mistake the head coach made when authorising a spying campaign against rival championship clubs. talkSPORT understands that Everton are leading the race for Middlesbrough midfielder Hayden Hackney, and a lot going on in the tennis world. Serena Williams, 44 I think she is now, announced that she's going to return to the game, while 22-year-old Paraguayan Daniel Vallejo has been handed a hefty fine for making unacceptable comments about a female umpire following his exit from the French Open. Here's talkSPORT's Nick Ellaby with more.
The GOAT of women's tennis is back on court in the UK next month after 4 years away. 44-year-old Serena Williams has claimed a wild card for the doubles at Queen's Club, and we could see her at Wimbledon as well. World number one Aryna Sabalenka is excited.
That's fun. That's cool. She has a really cool personality. She's fun and she's a legend, and it's inspiring to see, you know. And I'm actually excited to see her play and probably face her. So it's very cool. It's very good news for tennis.
Meanwhile, we've all said things things we regret, especially after losing a game of football or shanking a drive into the bushes. But tennis player Daniel Adolfo Vallejo's big mouth has cost him over 483 grand. He's been handed the biggest fine in French Open history, over half his prize money. After losing to teenage home favourite Moises Kwame at Roland Garros, Vallejo told Clay magazine the match should not have been umpired by a woman. The 22-year-old Paraguayan claimed Brazil's Ana Carvalho did not have the courage to handle the partisan home crowd. Tournament director and former player Amélie Mauresmo justified the huge fine, saying this kind of language has no place here.
You know what? Sometimes you just need to know when to keep your mouth shut. Seriously. I mean, wow, what a fine that is.
Wow, you took the words out of my mouth. I just wrote it down in case I'd get it wrong here. Was that 400 grand?
Yeah.
That's a fine and a half, isn't it?
No, not half.
Dear me.
Serena Williams.
For claiming it was it the sex of the umpire?
Yeah. Basically, you say, woman shouldn't umpire my match.
Well,
so. What about Serena Williams coming back? Would you?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Don't ever go and see her?
I would, yeah. I absolutely would. Because I think, and you could throw the argument back at me about boxers that I don't like to see coming back.
Yeah, it's different though, isn't it?
I think she's an entertainer. I think she'll be great. She always brings value to the sport and the occasion. One of the greatest of all time. Absolutely, I'd go and watch it.
Everyone wants to see if she can still do it at 44. And if she can, wow, what a story that would be.
She was some player, wasn't she?
Oh,
she was absolutely fantastic. Did she come back in doubles, wasn't she? I noticed that.
Back in doubles, yeah. All right, time now for a bit of this.
Ask me. Here's Ali McCoist. Oh, he's done it. Ali McCoist from Rangers.
Are you winding me up?
No, I'm deadly serious.
You know where the creator of the Rubik's Cube came from? Came from Czechoslovakia. So there you are, have some of that.
You need to introduce me to this Tinder. Is it dangerous?
You're a pair of numpties, so you are.
Let's be having you. Let's be having you.
Oh, gee, was I?
You were only supposed to blow up a bloody door.
What's that?
Yeah, I've nailed it, man. I've nailed it.
Ask me.
Time for Ask Ali. Let's get straight to it, Coisty.
Yes.
Ali, Iraola to Liverpool. Is that a genuine improvement on Arne Slot?
Well, the obvious answer is time will tell. I said earlier on, and I get it, and I get the sack culture and time is effectively not given nowadays to managers and coaches, whether we like it or not. That's the way it is. Me personally, I would probably give an Arne Slot at the start of the season just to see what had happened. A lot of Liverpool fans and I value their opinion. They'd have said no, let's move on. The club has declined in so many, as you mentioned, statistics, and they're staring you in the face. So I understand it. It didn't shock me. It didn't surprise me. I really, really like Iraola, but I also take your point. And it's not a slight in Bournemouth, but it is a completely different job.
Yeah, a completely different
Bournemouth have been sensational.
Yeah.
They have been different.
And Iraola's been sensational.
Correct. He handles himself well, he speaks well.
Comes over very well.
Isn't he? He's a great listen. He really is. Clearly knows his job exceptionally well. I think he's really, really talented, breath of fresh air. And that's the reason that Liverpool have gone for him.
Yeah.
Whether he'll be an improvement. See, the fact of the matter is, now, what did Slot get? 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, that's the kind of time scale that you're on nowadays. So, if Iraola goes there and doesn't hit the ground running, there'll be question marks right away. I think, and it won't happen, but I think coaches, they need to get time, they need to get to know their squad, they need to bring their own players in, or they're judged than previous managers. So, but I am fairly confident that he will be, if he goes, a massive success at Liverpool. I just like the way he operates. And do you know something which is really, really important? I think the Liverpool fans will like him.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. He's such a likeable character.
He really is, Jeff. I mean,
and they'll love him if he starts winning games.
Correct. That's the most important thing, of course.
Dom King, writing, I think it's the Telegraph now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Said that he would like to see Iraola bring in James Milner to help on the coaching side, to help set standards within the Liverpool dressing room. Do you think that would be a good idea?
I think it'd be a brilliant idea. I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think it'd be a brilliant idea. You get guys that come through the game that are just class operators, and I include Jordan Henderson in that, and James Milner, guys that hang about for a long, long time, and the key to their success is obviously talent and an ability to graft and work hard and appreciate their job, but also to pass on. If you've got, you know, talent like that and experience like that, you don't want to waste that, Jeff. You can't buy what Milner and Henderson and boys like that have. You know what I mean? They've played it. Yes, you can talk about levels of performance and this, that, and the next thing, but the fact of the matter is, they're where they are for a reason, and it's their attitude to work, you know, and be where they are and appreciate their surroundings. And if you've got somebody like Milner who clear has just retired, and effectively anybody, and I don't know James Milner, I don't think I've met James, but anybody that you speak to or you read about that has played with him or been involved with him or coached with him, manager, has nothing but good things to say. So why would you not have somebody like that about your dressing room?
Completely agree. Man City midfielder Rodri insisted he would only think about his future after the World Cup. There have been links with a switch to Real Madrid this summer. Would now be the right time for Manchester City to cash in on Rodri?
Yeah, I think it would. And that's not a slight on the man at all. But I don't believe he's got back to anything like the form when he won the Ballon d'Or, where he was absolutely outstanding and deserved the award. And it's not a slight on him, it's just the injuries maybe taking a little bit longer, and it took more out of him than perhaps a lot of people felt. And I just think a change would probably suit both parties, or all three parties, to tell you the truth. I think with a new manager coming in at City, it's a new era, if you like. And I think Rodri would probably look at it and say, I've had a fantastic time here. I've got an opportunity to go back to my homeland and play for one of not the biggest club in the world. I just think it's a good move. But the one thing I would say, if the move did happen or wherever he went, boy, could he leave with his head held high.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the
only problem I ever
brilliant
had.
Acquisition.
The only problem I ever had with Rodri was when he threw the toys at the pram after we beat them at Hampden.
Good stuff. Thanks, Coisty.
Pleasure.
Just want to say thanks to Steve in Hull. Steve sent me a lovely text just saying how much he's enjoying the programme at the moment. Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate that. Coming up, we turn our attention back to Arsenal and a celebrity fan who responded to me calling Arsenal an ugly baby who only a mother could love. Did I say that? We'll find out who next.
In the penalty shootout, Emmanuel, it struck me to ask you, were you surprised that Gabriel
a little bit
stepped up?
Yeah, I was surprised because I saw, for example, one player. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to point finger at them. But when I see Zubimendi, he's a European champion. He's got character and personality, and the guy just came into the game. He's fresh, mentally and physically. You know what it means to take a penalty at the end of the season like that. It's so hot, so many players were having cramp, during the game. So it was an exhausting season for both teams. And all of a sudden, this guy came into at the end of the game. He's fresh. He didn't take. You see the central defender. This is not typical for central defender to take a penalty shot.
Yeah. The other penalty you were not happy with was Eze's penalty. I know we don't want to hammer the guy, but
football is already difficult, so make it simple. I don't understand why all those guys, is it fashionable? I have no idea. But, I'm very annoyed every time I see someone trying to make a stick, before kicking the ball. He stopped the run and then all of a sudden he do something. Why don't you do a push-up before you take your change? I mean, yeah.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good morning, 4 minutes past 9 o'clock. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because you missed that. You walked out of the room, right, to go to the gentleman's room, and Nick walked in. And before we went, I was talking to Nick about the World Cup and all that stuff, and I just said my first game's in Mexico City, blah, blah, blah. And as I said it, my iPad just started piping out directions to Mexico City. I thought, that's strange. I don't like that. Really, you know what I mean? That's somebody's listening somewhere.
I think it's Siri, isn't it?
I know it might be, but I don't like Siri. I don't like AI. I'm scared of all this nonsense.
I came back into the control room just as you were mid-chat, and I thought, I've left him just across to the news. And what happens? Everything gets out of hand. Anyway.
It certainly does.
Brilliant. Right, on the way for you this morning, we'll be joined in the studio by West Ham's all-time Premier League goal scorer, Mikel Antonio. He'll be here for half an hour or so giving his thoughts on football in general, the mess at the London Stadium, what his future holds, what he's doing now. Absolutely everything, really. He's got a brilliant new book out.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about that at length. And we'll also be joined by talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook, who'll tell us exactly which Premier League club Hayden Hackney looks set to join. But now, of course, you don't need me to tell you it was an agonising penalty shootout defeat for Arsenal in the Champions League final over the weekend. But attention's really turned now as to how Arsenal can improve during the course of this summer. The France and edged Arsenal legend Manu Petit joined White and Jordan yesterday and talked about where he believes Arsenal need to strengthen there to contend for the Champions League again.
You need to have strong and powerful, wingers with technical skills, that can make differences, on the wings. So for me, there is, before, bringing new players, they have to show the exit door to some players too, with all the respect I have for that, because...
Who are we talking about there?
For me, the like of Martinelli, Jesus, Gyökeres, I don't know because he just came into the club, but Trossard would probably keep him. But I would... Madueke, for me, that's not good enough. I'm sorry to say that, but he must do much more than that, to improve. But we need definitely wingers and probably one striker, with space, with technical skills, great movements, something like that. We need to improve the upfront.
Which I think is something you'd agree with.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And we touched on Marcus Rashford this morning. It's a sort of no-brainer, isn't it? If Rashford is willing to come back to the Premier League.
That's the thing. If you're Marcus Rashford, I get it. You probably want to stay where you definitely want to stay where you are. You're enjoying it. You're out the focus, the limelight, if you like. I just think from Arsenal's point of view, A, as a player, and B, as a business deal, it's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, it's something that you would explore that avenue. And I agree with just about everything Manny said there. I enjoy listening to Manny. I've worked with Manny in the breakfast show a couple of times, and he's great. He's very, very good. I would cut Madueke a bit more slack if I was going to be brutally honest with you. I really would. I still think there's a tremendous talented player in there on that right hand side with Saka. I think the left hand side definitely needs strengthening. I don't think Ez is the one out there. I know some people like him, would play him in that left hand side. I wouldn't. Gyökeres, I mentioned earlier, Jeff, and I'll say it again, I think has had a very, very good season. More than acceptable goal return. And I think, very importantly, I think he's improved all the way through the season. However, and it's only my own opinion, I'm not sure there's enough improvement in him to go to the elite level. There might be.
Obviously, he's coming for some criticism for his performance coming off the bench. Yeah. Dean Ashton was on the station last night. He was saying he would have been fuming if he was Gyökeres actually starting on the bench. I think he's got 21 goals in all competitions this season.
Yeah, I understand Dean saying that, and he might have been fuming. I would suggest it wouldn't have been. It might have been an absolute major disappointment to him. I'm not sure it would have been the biggest surprise on the planet because I got asked beforehand what I would have done, and I would have done exactly what Mikel Arteta did, and that was start Havertz, who I have bored people to tears with on this programme. Because he's a top class player. He is one of the cleverest, most intelligent football players I've seen in a long, long time. Havertz. Whether he's an out centre forward, that's up for debate. But the fact of the matter is, I thought he, along with most of his teammates, did very, very well. I'll stand by it, and I know it's not everybody's opinion, Jeff, including yourself, your own one. I think Arsenal were so close to winning the Champions League the only way they could. I really believe that. We had a similar situation where Rangers would play Zenit St Petersburg in the final UEFA Cup. And I was like, you should have opened up, you should have done this, you should have done the next thing. People forget that Zenit St Petersburg team scored 4 in an away leg in the quarter-final at Bayern Munich, and then scored 4 in an away leg, I think, against Leverkusen, right? And we should have done this. If we'd opened up against them, you'd have got murdered. They then, by the way, just for the record, they then beat Manchester United in the Super Cup 3-0. Man United won the Champions League and they beat Man United 3-0. Sometimes, if you take teams on, and I don't understand people want to have a go, I get it. Of course I do. I just feel, I'm of the opinion, if Arsenal had a go, we would have seen more of what happened in the last 5 minutes. And that was Barkala going flying by Saliba.
Yeah. And it would be easy to defend the type of performance they put on if they'd won the game. But they didn't.
Yes.
And that was the problem.
100%. Yeah. If you win the game, we're not discussing it.
Yeah. A lot of uproar, of course, from Arsenal fans about the lack of love that they received from neutral fans. This is how I explained the situation yesterday. When I look at Arsenal, you know when you see a baby who's not particularly pretty and you say, only a mother could love that. Well, that is Arsenal in a footballing sense for the neutral.
I'm going to back you up because I don't think babies the first 2 weeks are particularly pretty anyway. I want them to show me a good looking baby in the first couple of weeks. Yeah. They don't happen.
Yeah, it wasn't really a criticism of Arsenal, Anyway, look, we caught up with celebrity Gunners fan Jack Whitehall last night, who had this response to my comparison of Arsenal's style of play to an ugly baby.
Well, often the ugliest babies blossom into the most beautiful adults. That's what I've discovered from experience. So yes, maybe we are an ugly baby, but we may be a grower, not a shower, and we may improve and blossom with age, and a few more strikers, and maybe a left winger, and possibly some cover in central midfield and a backup right back, and then we'll be gorgeous.
See, that's genius, isn't it? Just
But you know what? He's right, because I also said yesterday, look at the age of the Arsenal squad.
Third youngest team in the tournament, behind Chelsea, and I want to say Bruges. Right?
Yeah, but it's set up for a dynasty, if you like, because all of those players, assuming they hold on to them all and add certain members to the squad, they could be the side to beat for years and years to come.
And the most, I would nearly say the most important compartment of the team, it probably isn't the most, but it's the first one you look at. The first piece of your team you look at when you're building a team is your goalkeeping, your back four.
Yeah.
And it is as good, if not the best. We saw it against the best, and they were that away from winning it. I thought they defended. By the way, even I spoke about Saka during the game. Saka, of course, he's one of the most talented players going forward, but he doubled up with Mascara and gave him such a hand against Kvaratskhelia. We're not talking about Kvaratskhelia, right? Yes, you could maybe say, does he switch off for the penalty? Maybe ever so slightly, but it's brilliant play from Kvaratskhelia. Defensively, Arsenal, I thought, were magnificent. From the forwards out, all about it. Defended as a unit. And what I thought they were brilliant at, Jeff, the line that their back four took, in terms of if they did not allow any gaps between the midfield and the forward line. There was no space at all for that brilliant PSG team to pick up in pockets and find areas in front of, behind a midfielder, in front of a back four. They kept it. They kept their 10 outfield players really, really tight and congested, so there was no space for. Listen, people go out. It was a victory, for football and all that stuff. I don't buy that. If I'm playing PSG, Jeff, they're the best in the business, so why would you attempt to take them on what they're good at? I mean, they're brilliant at it. They proved it. They absolutely annihilated an excellent Inter Milan team that knocked out Barcelona.
We could go through this again and again, but Dembele, for instance, was hopeless, way off his game, and maybe there was just a window of opportunity, but we'll never know. But I
still think one of the reasons he was so poor was the shape.
Completely. Mm-hmm. The way Arsenal set up completely. Interesting. We talk about incomings in Arsenal. Obviously, if there are incomings, there are going to be outgoings as well. So some big decisions for
100%
Mikel Arteta to make, no doubt about that.
But I tell you what, he'll not be scared to make them. Right now he won't.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Charlie in Derby said, watch the match in a pub in Derby, mainly Derby fans. 80% were behind Arsenal. It's utter nonsense to say everyone hates Arsenal. take the point shot, I think 80% is pretty low, I'll be honest, Charlie, if you're in a pub in Derby. But it's a complete exaggeration. Everybody hates Arsenal. They certainly don't. And I think next season, if they're just a little bit more expansive, people will learn to love them as you learn to love the ugly baby. Coming up, we'll bring you more on the news that Tondreka to set the stairs Southampton bottom. We'll also have some big news for Everton fans. Joining us now, presenter, huge Arsenal fan, Joel Baer. Morning, Joel. Sorry to put you through that
Joel.
again.
Morning, Dean. Morning, Jeff. You know what? I'm here to launch an attack on them too.
Good. How are you?
Gabby and Cundy, because I don't understand how you can be on radio representing the people who love football, and that's what you come out with. They came to work wearing PSG shirts. I was in Budapest enjoying the game. I look at my timeline and it's them dancing around, celebrating. Cundy, your team, you love Chelsea, but you played for Ipswich, mate. That's where you had the majority of your appearances, Ipswich Football Club. Gabby, you played for Aston Villa. You love Thierry Henry. You told me yourself last week. Where has it gone wrong? Why is it that there's so much hate for Arsenal? Where's this come from? I mean, what do you think when you sit there and you look at it, Jeff?
No, I was embarrassed by that. Because domestically, well, not domestically, of English clubs, Arsenal have unquestionably had the best, the most successful season. They've won the Premier League. They've been within a spot kick of winning the Champions League as well. Personally, I don't particularly enjoy the way they play, but you cannot deny they have been the best side this season.
100%. It's been effective. If you want to go down to the stats, I had the chance to be on the Budapest show the other day. PSG have scored 45 goals this Champions League campaign. They've conceded 23. We minimalised them to just a penalty. We had a fantastic game plan. I don't see how you can be on this panel and you're celebrating and cheering and saying that football has won.
Very good morning to you. Almost 20 minutes past 9. Tuesday, June the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. And Arnold Clark are celebrating what's set to be a massive month of football, and you could be a huge winner in their June upgrade event. All this month, not only will you get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car with Arnold Clark, but each week in June, they'll also be selecting one lucky person to win the cost of their car back.
They certainly will, Jeff. Now, here at talkSPORT, we've teamed up with Arnold Clark, also going to give away some amazing prizes in our online competition. We will be selecting 5 lucky winners at random, of course, from our online draw, and they will each receive a fantastic £1,000 in cash. To get your entry in and for full T's and C's, head to talksport.com/win, and you could be one of our winners.
That is all thanks to Arnold Clark's June upgrade event. Buy a used car this month, you get 2 years free servicing and could win the cost of it back this June. Tonda Eckert has been speaking about Spygate. He says he takes full responsibility for everything that has happened. He's apologised to the fans of Southampton, to the players, to all the clubs involved, and once again says he will take full responsibility. We've been reacting to the news all morning, actually, that Tonda Eckert is to stay in his job as Southampton boss. For more on this, delighted to say joining us is talkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Good morning, Crookie.
Very good morning. You good?
We're in top form, pal. We're in top form. This isn't really groundbreaking news, is it? I mean, I've got to be quite honest with you, I kind of fully expected it really as time wore on.
Yeah, I think the longer that nothing was said about Tonda Eckert's position, the more likely it was that the football club would come out and back him. I still think it's amazing. It's taken until the 2nd of June for anybody at senior level at Saints to really show any contrition for the fact they were expelled in such disgraceful circumstances from the Championship player final, missing out on the chance to get back in the Premier League. It's interesting that the owner, Dragan Solak, has come out and said that he still believes in Tonda Eckert. That decision could, of course, yet be taken out of his hands because there is still an ongoing FA investigation where I think there's a distinct possibility that Eckert, having publicly now admitted his role in the Spygate scandal, could be suspended. And as Solak himself says, if that is the case, I can't have a band manager on the touchline. So I don't think this is the last that we've heard of it. The defence seems a bit feeble for me. If you look at Tonda Eckert's statement in full, he said that in Germany it was common practice for media and opponents to observe training sessions to get tactical and team information. It's not commonplace in England, and he should have known that.
And I get that, Crookie. The one thing I don't quite get about all of this is had they gone spying 24 hours earlier, it would have been okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, if you're going to do it, you know the rules. You don't hate the player, hate the game. And if they had done it 24 hours earlier, as you say, there wouldn't have been any issue. And maybe we'd be talking about Southampton as a Premier League club now. Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't see naivety or the fact that he has come from overseas football is any real defence. It'd be interesting to see if it holds.
I think what it's all about now is, when you see the statements from interns, the sort of pressure they have seemingly been put under, and that's what the debate to me is about right now. What about football matters then? Looking ahead to the new season, a whole host of clubs interested in Hayden Hackney. Crookie, who's favourite?
Well, don't tell Jamie O'Hara because he's not in favour of signing players from the Championship. But Tottenham are one of the clubs who are monitoring Hackney's situation. So are Everton. And you can see why David Moyes would be attracted to this signing. I think the fee will be interesting. Someone close to Borough has quoted £20 million to me this morning, which I think would be a bargain for a player of Hackney's quality. I mean, he only played sparingly in that Championship player final against Hull, but when he came on, he was the best player on the pitch. So he's going to be a good pickup for someone. It's obviously sad for Middlesbrough. They're losing one of their own, but I think it was inevitable once they didn't go up that he would be in the Premier League without them.
Cookie, what about Cucurella? He's looking well known fact. I mean, a couple of weeks ago he was saying he fancied, he didn't say he fancied a move back to Spain, but he certainly maybe sent the fishing rod out there and wouldn't have disappointed him too much. Obviously Real Madrid, Barcelona, Athletic Madrid are all linked, and it says Chelsea will not block a potential move. He's absolutely perfect for Simeone and Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, he is. And actually, I think he's one of the few Chelsea players who comes out of what was a pretty sorry season with any credit. I think there's an argument that maybe he was their player of the year, so you can understand why there would be interest from those big Spanish clubs. And obviously having missed out on the Champions League, why he would be looking to leave. I spoke to someone at Chelsea yesterday and they said they weren't actively looking to sell, but I get the impression, much like Enzo Fernandez, if a certain number is hit in terms of a bid comes in, knowing that the player wants out, potentially that could happen. The interesting one is Josh Achiampong, a teammate of Cucurella, who we're told a lot of big clubs, not just in England, but across Europe are looking at. But Chelsea determined to keep him. The message when it comes to Achiampong is very much he isn't for sale at any price, which is the same I was told about João Pedro around about this time last week when he was being linked with Barcelona.
On to Arsenal. We've been obviously speculating about where Arsenal might strengthen. They're interested in Leicester's 16-year-old. Seen a bit of this kid as well, Jeremy Monga. Plenty of games for a 16-year-old, hasn't he? 34 appearances for Leicester already. He would be one for the future, obviously, as far as Arsenal are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And I covered this in the notebook on the talkSPORT website a couple of weeks ago. I think half the Premier League are interested in Jeremy Monga. Jason Wilcox and Manchester United have spoken to Leicester about him as well. Clearly, very talented young player. Leicester in dire straits are going to have to sell, having been relegated to League One. But it looks like Arsenal at the moment are the most advanced when it comes to Monga. I think they're determined, Jeff and Ali, to strengthen from a position of authority. Having won the Premier League, they look around at Manchester City changing managers, Chelsea and Liverpool changing managers. Michael Carrick, his first full season in charge at Manchester United. I think they realise there's a big opportunity here for Arsenal to go back-to-back. So not just Jeremy Monga, Morgan Rogers, I think is definitely one that we need to keep an eye on when it comes to Arsenal. Villa want to keep him, but again, I think if they get a bid of between 80 and 100 million pounds because of the financial restrictions, particularly when it comes to playing the Champions League, they might have to cash in, which would be really disappointing for Villa fans. But I think Morgan Rogers would be a perfect player for Arteta. He can play off the left. He can play in that number 10 position where, of course, Ødegaard missed a lot of games injured. So seems a no-brainer to me.
Who do you think, just a couple of quick ones on Arsenal, Crookie, do you think they'll go for another out-and-out number 9, maybe lose Jesus? And do you think Ødegaard will be starting next season?
Well, again, I was getting a couple of messages yesterday about Julian Alvarez. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, very dismissive publicly of Barcelona's interest in him last week, but there is a link with Arsenal, and Andrea Berta, the sporting director, was the one who did the deal to take him to Atletico. Again, I think that would be a transformative signing, as well as Gyökeres did actually with getting past the 20-goal mark. I think there's still a suspicion that he's a bit of a flat-track bully, and obviously Havertz is not an out-and-out number 9. In terms of Jesus, yes, I think he's available for transfer. £20 million, I think, is the fee that Arsenal are looking for him. And with Ødegaard, I think it's pretty clear now that he's not necessarily going to be able to play week in, week out, which again is where the Morgan Rogers signing makes a lot of sense.
Crookie, thanks very much indeed, mate.
See you, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good one.
Just another quick one on the Spygate. Dan says, Tonda in. Looking forward to everyone moving on now. Bring on the new season. Lesson learned. We go again. Up the Saints. Coming up, we'll be joined live right here in the studio by West Ham's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer, Mikel Antonio. He's going to be with us for the next half hour of the show.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country which.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year, it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
Good morning at 9:33. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. We're celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June. You'll be entered at the weekly draw to win the cost of it back. I'm delighted to say right now they're being joined in the studio by this man.
Into the box, delivering across. Antonio! 2-2! Rising highest in between the two centre-backs.
I bet if you went and asked most Premier League defenders who do you least like playing against in the Premier League, I bet he would rank quite highly.
He's done brilliant. He's been a really good servant.
Oh, Antonio, you beauty.
His goals have been very good. He's been terrific for us, and long may that continue.
Gareth Bowen walks behind the goal, picks up a Mikel Antonio shirt, shows it to the fans. Emotional night tonight for West Ham.
Mikel Antonio is making his first appearance since his accident, and the ovation around the stadium is something else for Mikel Antonio.
He's a beast physically, but not only physically, but mentally.
Antonio wins a fly ball inside the area, drives it in. Oh, what a goal! 50 up in the Premier League for Mikel Antonio.
Yeah, Mikel Antonio is with us. Morning to you, Mikel.
Morning, mate. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's a pleasure. Got your book. I've read it. Humans, Not Robots. Really interesting. It's not your sort of archetypal football biography, is it? It's not this happened to me, then this happened to me, then this happened to me, then this happened to me. But I want to start right at the end because you've been playing in Qatar. I mean, your timing, mate, sometimes.
Oh, mate, it's crazy. It's like, obviously, everything in the book. I said, trialled for Brentford, tore my calf the day before signing the contract.
Yeah.
Trialled for Leicester, tore my hamstring day before the contract. Then I had an option between Charlton and Qatar. Decided to go to Qatar. And a war started. Like, living in an active war zone. But I'm not going to lie, I loved every moment over there. It was actually a nice vibe, nice culture, very slow, relaxed. It's something I kind of needed to introduce me back into the football life.
See, that's the one thing I would say to you, and just, I mean, we're having a laugh about it there, and if you look at it that way, it could be quite amusing, but at the same time, you've got to have enormous mental strength to come back from a lot of things, right? And clearly you have that.
Yeah, 100%. Something I've always had in my entire career, where I always test myself, I always push myself. And I didn't want my career ending in a car crash. So I was just like, I need to get back and I need to play. And that was my focus.
Yeah. And we know how much you love West Ham, 323 appearances and 83 goals. You won a European trophy with them as well. But reading the book, you were bitterly disappointed with the way they treated you after the accident.
Yeah, 100%. Basically, I was playing there for 10 years straight. Every single year, I was a starter for the team. And many times they tried to replace me, get other new people in, and I always end up playing. I started on the game before my car crash, and I was starting on the Monday when obviously I had the crash on the Saturday. So I was surprised that for someone who's highly involved and someone who's been playing for 10 years at the club, that they didn't offer me something, even though I had interest before my car crash, and they said I wasn't ready for sale. So I was surprised to be released in the summer, and the fact that they waited until May to tell me that they were going to release me as well was a surprising factor as well.
How much is that? Sorry, how much is that was down to Graham Potter? Because look, let's be honest. A lot of this book, you got a lot of praise for a lot of people in it. From Stuart Pearce through to David Moyes or whatever. But how much of your departure in that manner from West Ham did you feel was down to Graham Potter?
I think it was a lot down to him. Obviously, he didn't really know me as a person, didn't really know me as a player, other than what he saw me playing. But I felt like the conversations that I was having with him was like, he's got nothing to do with me, he's got to do with the chairman, and the chairman would be like, it's the manager. I honestly just feel like he was the one who really made the decision in the end. But it wasn't just me, it was obviously me, Aaron Cresswell, Vlad, Lucas Fabianski, Edson. Like, he got rid of a lot of the senior group, the leaders in the changing rooms. And I feel like he was trying to change things up and go more young. But then it's a bit of a contradicting factor because he did that, and then within 3 weeks he was going, we've got the leaders in the changing room. When his decision to get rid of him. So it made no sense to me.
I think, Michael, I mean, I'm looking at this, mate, and one of the quotes you said in the podcast was, I had resentment against the club. I hated them. Nothing to do with the fans, just the ownership. The only way they could feel my pain, was to be relegated. Now, do you think, the question I would ask you is, do you think it was a personal attack? Did it feel personal? Or, as you say in the book, humans, not robots, do you think it's an overriding thing where players in general, their feelings aren't taken into account?
I think it's players in general. It's something I've always said in my career. It's not like, as much as I had a lot of resentment, I had a lot of anger towards them. It's something I've always said. I said players always are treated like meat. As soon as you become stale, you get thrown away. And obviously I became stale, so I was the next person to be thrown away. So it's not just a personal thing. It was not just me. But there's been other clubs that things have happened. Let's say Jamal Lascelles at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Coming up to the end of his career, end of his contract. He done his ACL. They extended his contract. There was other players. There was like another 2-3 other players where these things have happened, and clubs have extended their contract. So, especially for players who've been there for a long time. So that's why I thought to myself, they will at least give me another year, and see what happens in that year, and see if I'm still performing. If I'm not, then we can go our separate ways, or And then the next thing that frustrated me even more is that I was there for the whole pre-season and I was fit enough to be playing games for the under-21s that they didn't give me the opportunity to actually say bye from the pitch to the fans. These are the things that were really frustrating me, and these are the things that really annoyed me.
Yeah. I mean, look, who knows what's going on with West Ham players at the moment, having been relegated. But, for instance, if you were to give some advice to Jarrod Bowen, and I'm sure he doesn't need any advice, but if you were, would you be saying, you know, it's important for you to look after number one, look after yourself?
100%. Like, end of the day, you can have the commitment, you can have the love for the fans, and I think one thing people are starting to understand this day and age anyway now is that players do need to look after themselves, because we know that the club's not. You can always have the love for the fans, you can always have the love for the club, but at the end of the day, you have to look after number one. And once you, while doing that, you can also show support. Like, look at Declan Rice. He's gone to Arsenal now, but he still has his love for West Ham. He's seen at the post and he's upset that West Ham's gone down. So you can still have the love for the club, but you can still look after yourself.
See, it's interesting. I always like to ask you a question in terms of when you wrote the book, and, you know, how did you feel writing it, and how do you feel now? Do you feel, has it been therapeutic in any way? Is it, you know, opening up and letting the world know your feelings? Do you feel better for it?
Yeah, to be fair, it was like therapy. Obviously, sitting in the room, speaking to my co-writers and stuff about the book, and it just got me to release a lot. Obviously, I was also in therapy at the time, so I was doing it naturally. But being in the room and being able to speak and let everything go kind of helped me get past all my resentment and hatred towards the owners and Potter.
I mean, there's a chapter about therapy, and it's a really interesting chapter. I mean, a really interesting chapter. And you were saying, can you imagine if kids who are 10 and 11 or 16 or young men at 21, if they had free access to therapy, how much it would help them in their lives?
Yeah, 100%. It's something I'm trying to push. I'm speaking to like my PR people and everyone to try and get it out there, try and get into the governments basically, because every time you go through life, there's different type of changes, and people feel like it's just natural. You should be able to just be able to deal with it in life. But the whole part of life is learning yourself and experiencing what your struggles are. So I feel like every time there's a factor of change, so at ages of 10, ages of 14, 16, 21, 30, 40, 60, each time these occasions are happening, there's a part of life that you have to make a change. You're at the age of 10, you're thinking about your next steps into secondary school. 14, you're thinking about education, what exams you're going to take, what do you want to be when you're older. 16, you're finishing school. Are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to work? 21, you're now seen as an adult. So you're now looking for a job. What job are you going to go into? At 30, you're probably going to be in a job. You don't know too sure if you enjoy the job or not, whether you want to change or move on or stick it out. 40. At 40, you're still technically young. A lot of people have become millionaires, billionaires from the age of 40. So there's still time for you to make a change or stick it out. It's your decision. At the age of 60, you're thinking about retirement. What are the next steps? What your kids are doing. So these things, like being able to speak through what you've been through, to release everything that you've got with inside and learn who you are during the course of your life, not just in the moment when things are bad. I feel like those are situations where it's key to have them sessions. And I'm not saying that they have to go into therapy for a year. 3 to 5 sessions is an option that you're there to speak to someone who's not giving you an opinion back, not trying to give you answers, just listening for you to find the answers within yourself.
See, that's an interesting one. I play in a completely different generation, but a generation where, I'll probably use the word, you would be embarrassed to bring up some conversations in the dressing room. And I think this is fantastic now. I really do, the way things are changing. I definitely think you'll tell me there's still plenty of room for improvement in that department, and I get it. But can you see a change since you started playing to players talking to each other?
Players are really talking in the changing room about their struggles. But there's definitely a change when it comes within the club. More people are starting to say, like, the options are there. There's there's always a psychiatrist or a therapist in the change rooms, or not in the change rooms, in the clubs. mainly to do with the youth players. But you have access to them if you want to. But a lot of players don't really want to speak to anyone at the club. They kind
Why
of
is that?
because at the end of the day, you don't want to speak to someone at the club, and then that person reports back, and then once they've done that, you might lose your position. So you kind of want to find someone external. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And it took me 5 different therapists for me to find the right one. But I didn't really want to speak to anyone in the club. I went to the head physio and I said to him, so look, I'm struggling. He's the one who introduced me to therapy at the time. And then from there, the first person I spoke to didn't really like. It took me 5 where I was like, actually, yeah, I can gel with you. I believe that you can help me here.
Yeah. Look, yeah, you're going to stay with us for a few more minutes. There's a lot of love for you out there. Just to read you one or two out here. Joe says, Mick, you're still loved at West Ham. Would you come back, please, and help us get out of the Championship? Anonymous one says, please tell Mikel he's welcome to come back home to play for Tooting again. Steve the Hammer says, just say thanks to the Ant for his loyal 10 years of service. He'll always be a Hammers legend in our eyes, and good luck for the future. And another one here. Morning, guys. The biggest compliment I can pay Mikel Antonio is that every time he played against us, and he's a Liverpool fan, he said, I was very happy if he wasn't starting or if he was ever substituted. A top man, wishing you all the very best moving forward. Positive vibes and respect. So a lot of love out there. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and West Ham's all-time Premier League leading goal scorer, Mikel Antonio. We'll have more from Mikel after the break.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you know
I'm
how
not sour,
pathetic
man.
this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
Straight in.
I mean,
Straight.
you
Bro,
can't
at
do
least
that.
like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
No, I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in a championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. We're having this conversation. He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like,
Honestly.
Crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. It's 10 minutes away from 10 o'clock. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. Is with me delighted to say that West Ham's record Premier League goal scorer Mikel Antonio is still with us here this morning in the studio. We got loads and loads of texts, honestly. Matt King, just like to thank Mikel for this interview. Really connect with what he's said. Nice to hear a football player with a great mental outlook. DC's a Forest fan. He said Mick Forest legend as well, and so on and so forth. Griff from Kings Lynn says, come back, Mikel, please, please, please. Look, I want to stress as well, by the way, that this book is full of stuff about, you know, how much you enjoy being a footballer, what a privilege it was to be a footballer. When you played the game with a smile on your face, didn't you? There's no doubt. But the title's interesting, Humans Not Robots. And there's a line in it where you say, you know, can you imagine if you walked into an office where people bellowed abuse at you and made obscene hand gestures towards you? And that's what you have to cope with pretty much every certainly every game anyway, you know. And mentally, that must, yeah, it's a privilege to be a footballer, of course it is, but mentally that must get to people.
Well, it's crazy, because literally I have the conversation with people, because obviously I got a few friends that do it themselves. So it's not just, I'm not saying thing. I have friends who do it, and I'm like, let's just imagine, you're sat at work, and then I'm sat behind you, just slating you, and you're like, oh, look at your typing, that is terrible typing, you need to be faster than that, blah blah. It's going to eventually annoy you, and it's not until I've had that conversation with him when they realize, yeah, that's true, to be fair, but he's like, but football's different. I'm like, but why is it different? Because we're still people on that pitch. What makes us different? They're like, because it's your job, but is that a part of my job? And they're like, yeah, but it's always been that way. But does that make that right? So literally, I say all that, and then by the end of it, they have nothing to say. Because at the end of the day, it's true. Well, we are humans. We are not robots. We have feelings. So eventually, those feelings will come out. If you constantly do the exact same thing, it's going to irritate us, and eventually.
Well, you're 100% right. I mean, the fact that it's always been there doesn't make it right. In fact, the opposite, because it's wrong. However, sadly, I don't see it changing in the immediate future. But one of the things I think that's added to it, and you talk about the mental capacity of particularly youngsters coming into the game, right, is social media, right? What advice would you give? Because it's the easiest thing in the world to say. My boys, and by the way, me on my phone, I've turned into a disgrace as well. So everybody's doing it, and everybody's always had an opinion. But nowadays, you hear and see everybody's opinion. How do youngsters in particular, do you think, handle that?
To be honest, to be a footballer, you have to be very resilient. Like, obviously, from the fans at stadiums, and now social media. Social media is just access, free range for fans to have access to you. And there's a positive of it. So now fans can actually see the person, and it kind of humanizes people more, because you're seeing their lifestyle, to seeing that they're actually people. But then the negative is that they can say what they like to you. So you can literally come home and, like, what I used to do is, if I had a mare, obviously I'm a human being, so there was times I had bad games, I would point blank refuse to look at my timeline, because I knew for a fact that the messages that I would get on there,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, I've got to be honest, Chef. I mean, I'm actually staggered at some of the abuse online. The people would actually take the time, right? I mean, I'm of a generation, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I actually laugh about it. Yeah. It's amazing. But for some people, you actually take the time to write down and say some of these things.
Some of it, it's so sort of malevolent. It's such deep hatred in the messages.
And the craziest thing about it, even when you have a good game and you have 1,000 nice comments, that one bad comment is what soaks into your mind. It's like one bad comment that really soaks into you. You're like, no, but everyone else thinks I've done well. What's your problem?
I've got a text here which just says, hey, Mikel, how about player manager at Southend? The other West Ham legend, Bobby Moore, did it. Do you think about going into coaching?
Yeah, I am, to be fair. I did my UEFA B. I need to finish my presentation, to be fair. I missed my presentation, so I need to do that. And then I'm going to do my A, because I want to have all options there.
Where did you do it, mate?
I did it at the club, to be fair. They came down. So me, Angelo Bonner and Thomas Souček all did it together. But I want to have all options there. I think TV is more suitable to me because obviously how long I've been in football for. I think football takes so much of your time. Because I've been in it for so long, I want more freedom in my retirement. So that's why I probably stick with the TV side of things.
I'm worried about this because you say you don't want to be a pundit, you want to be a presenter, which has me feeling a bit, you know? So.
Oh, is he?
He's had a look around, Jeff, and he thinks competition's not that fair.
Well, Lineker's finished now in terms of mainstream TV, so there are vacancies out there.
Oh, I'm not coming for your job, Jeff. Don't worry about it. To be fair, I do be able to punch you stuff, but it's mainly presenting what I'm trying to get into. I want to kind of be free and happy and just want to get my personality out there. That's what I'm looking to do when I retire, because obviously in football, I always had a smile on my face, but still had to be quite serious. Yeah. In my retirement, I want to be just having fun.
Well, you've enjoyed the stuff you've been doing with TNT, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I have the travel, the games and stuff like that, and I have enjoyed it more than I thought. Because you know me, didn't really want to watch football. So, but obviously going to those games and actually speaking about them, I've really enjoyed the time. And obviously being around, you, Andy, and stuff like that, it's been nice.
So let's get it straight. You're not retired. So what does the future in the footballing sense hold for you?
Future, so speaking to clubs, giving a few clubs in England a call. Still having a chat in Qatar, but I'm still not too sure which way I'm going.
How fit do you feel at the moment?
Well, I'm fit. Obviously, finished the season. I went to one of the lower teams in Qatar at the time, but I went there for just a nice new experience and lifestyle and stuff. So I'm definitely fit and ready to go. Like I said, every club I've been to have offered me a contract. So it's not my physicality why I've not didn't play out much last year. Like obviously Brentford did so well last year, they offered me a contract. Leicester, obviously, completely opposite. But they offered me one, and Charlton offered me a contract. So it's not my physique or my physical movement was stopping me. It was just incidents that were happening at the time.
Yeah. Now, I was going to finish off with some more of the text because there are so many of them. Sue says, please tell Mike I used to listen to his pod with Tom Cairn. He really loved it. Was sorry when it ended. Nathan said, get this bloke a job on talkSPORT. He's absolutely brilliant. And John says, one of the special months after Forest's promotion was the chance for the City Ground to show Michael in person the love that we had for him. And I've got a Sheffield Wednesday fan as well who says best loan signing that they have ever had. So much love out there for you, mate. A lot of people would love to see you back in the...
Must have been all right footballer, eh?
Hey. Thanks for coming in, mate. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
It was brilliant, mate. And Mikel's book, Humans Not Robots, published by HarperCollins. And honestly, I can recommend it to you. It's not your bog standard footballing book, that is for sure. Thanks, Mikel. Jim White, Simon Jordan coming next. Ali and I will be back on talkSPORT Breakfast tomorrow morning. Going to begin our build-up to the World Cup with our predictions. Don't let that put you off. And Ali will explain how Scotland can win